Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Factional Fight Plays Wurm Online. My name is Adam, and as you can see, I'm here all by myself. Brian could not make it tonight, unfortunately. But, as I say every week that I'm by myself, the show must go on. Trying to keep up with this weekly schedule, and I'm really looking forward to streaming more Wurm. Yeah, so excited. How about you guys? How are you doing in the chat there? I see a bunch of you. I should probably get rid of this so you guys can see the chat a little bit better. Let's hide that. There we go. So we got Reganation, Deathwind, Budzilla. How's it going, guys? Valir, Rabid Scab, The Real Kool-Aid, Meanween, Valine, Earthworm, Valier. Hey, Zenmir. Oh, thanks for the subscription, buddy. That's 4 months in a row. That's incredible. That's incredible. And Perry Hellion, how's it going? Yeah, I've had a great week, actually. It was actually a really busy week for me. As some of you may know, I'm a teacher. And so this week was essentially exams, marking, report cards, like just crazy busy. So I did get to sneak in a little bit of Wurm time while marking. Wurm seems to be a great game for these sorts of multitasking things. And I sort of got this inkling to get into archaeology again. I mean, I did a whole big stint on archaeology. I got my skill up into the 60s for both archaeology and restoration, but that was before they did the update and added all the caches. And since then, I haven't really had enough time to invest in working on that. And one of the things that I have come to realize that I need to work on is my papyrus making. So I started looking into how do I work on my papyrus making, and it turns out there's a couple ways. So we're going to go through those ways today on the stream, and I'm going to try out one of those ways which I haven't tried before. So we'll get to that in just a second. What do I teach? I teach mostly math, but I also teach physics. Physics is my my specialty, I guess you could say. But over the years, I've sort of meandered over to the math side of things, and I teaching math to high school kids. So yeah, that's what I do, and so I'm just, we're in the middle of transitioning over to the second semester, so I'm going to get a whole new set of courses, a whole new set of students, and this is probably, throughout the entire year, the most relaxed time, aside from when the summer hits. So, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good. Do you take a laptop to school and play Wurm in the lunch hour? No, no, unfortunately not. Being a teacher is an extremely busy job. It's super, super demanding, and there's not even a minute that I get to myself. I probably get a little bit of time to eat something in the middle of the day, but for the most part, I am working through my lunch. I'm working through every moment I can get to work, so yeah. Wurm isn't until evenings after the children go to bed, so I'm pretty disciplined about that to a degree, but yeah. Yeah, you still need to get your archaeology skills up. Yep, I know, it's one of those things. Yeah, I teach high school students anywhere from grade 9 to grade 12. So yeah, that's what high school is in Canada here. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is open up my beer. So this week, it was last week that Brian brought on a beer called Hobgoblin IPA, and since then I went out to the store and looked for one. Seems like they're very rare, so I couldn't find one. But I found another beer by the same brewery. The brewery is called Witchwood Brewery. And so I thought I'd give it a try. This one is a ruby beer. It's called their legendary ruby beer. Not sure what that means, but my guess is ruby would be like some kind of red ale or something like that. So let's give it a shot. There we go. I was really looking forward to the Hobgoblin IPA. I tried one over the holidays, just one. Seems like a very special kind of beer. It's quite expensive, and it tasted delicious. So I really wanted to find one, but couldn't find it in the store. Seems pretty rare. So I thought I'd give this one a shot, and yeah, it looks pretty much like an ale if I were to judge it by its color. All right, let's give it a shot. That's full-bodied. Very good. Very good. Delicious. Hey, Karina, how's it going? And as many of you might be wondering, before I get started with all this stuff, with papyrus making, I did put in the show and in the notes that there is a chance to win 1 gold on this show. I'm going to be doing a giveaway. Now, it's not quite... Here's how it's going to work. I, over the years, have been inspired by Gumbo, who holds many giveaways. And I have early memories of when I was just new to the game, where Gumbo would come on to GL Freedom and run a game of Deal or No Deal, Wurmian style. And you know, since then, we even got to participate in one at the Impalong. I think we hadn't even been playing for a year. We went over to our very first Impalong. This was back in 2012, I want to say. And by then we had started streaming, and Gumbo invited us up onto his show where he had all his cases laid out and everything like that. And yeah, we got to play a round of Deal or No Deal. So I've really been wanting to incorporate something like this into our shows. So I have set up a game of Deal or No Deal, and one lucky viewer, randomly chosen by our friendly Nightbot, will be able to join in on a round of Deal or No Deal. I will be the host, and you will have up to 100 silvers for grabs. Now, of course, if you know how Deal or No Deal works, you can win anywhere between 0 to 100 silvers, and we'll let the fates decide. So we'll get to that Deal or No Deal at some point in the show. Let's get set up though first. Let's try to figure out this papyrus making. Let's start by looking at what my skill is. Let's see. How do I get my skills open again? I close them, so they're my HUD settings, skill tracker. Okay, so this is my archaeology skill tab. I'll put it right up here, I guess. There we go. Okay, so you'll notice I have my body control and my mind logic up there too, because I noticed that these 2 skills get a good boost from doing archaeology, so I just put them up there to keep track of them. And there's my papyrus making. It's sitting at a whopping 22. And so far, the only thing I've been doing really to get that papyrus making skill up is making pulp. So in my miscellaneous bin here, you can see this wood pulp. Not very much of it, mind you. So it really hasn't taken that much. And then I've also made some paper, but then I used a lot of that paper up in my, in my archaeology journals, which I keep somewhere in here. So I put in a whole bunch of paper, and then I also gave a bunch to Brian. So there's been a bunch of paper made, and all together, all said and told, I've gotten 22 skill. Now, the Wurm team has just given us about 5 hours extra sleep bonus, so I'm sitting at 8.5 hours, which should be plenty, plenty, plenty. Unfortunately, I don't have any food for papyrus making. I didn't really have a chance to spend the time. My priest currently that makes food is not premium right now. I will eventually put premium on them and, get to that. Now, let's see. He just went home to get some e-paper. Was also going to start archaeology tonight. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, so archaeology. I'm not actually going to go out and do archaeology tonight. I'm just going to be getting my papyrus making skill up. So I've heard that if you have really high quality reports, then that it either increases the cache somehow. Either it increases your chances of getting a cache, or it increases the prizes you get from the cache. I can't remember exactly what it is. Nonetheless, higher papyrus making skill means higher quality paper, which means better stuff in the long run. So that's the plan. So there are two ways of making papyrus, or getting your papyrus making skill up. The first is just crank out a whole bunch of pulp, which is kind of boring. So and also it's not nearly as fast as the second way, which is to improve books. When does your sleep bonus max out at? Well, sleep bonus normally maxes out at 5 hours. You can see it there at the bottom. It says 8.5 hours. Normally it's 5 hours, unless the Wurm team decides to give you an extra however many hours. And I think because of the updates and the server instabilities, and people were, not able to log into the game, as a compensation, the dev team awarded everybody an extra 5 hours, and that can push you above the maximum. So whatever you were at plus 5 hours, up to a maximum of 10. So yeah, so it gives you a boost in the amount of fragments you get from caches. Okay, there it is. So yeah, you get a boost to the amount of fragments, which is something I'm looking forward to. I haven't even gotten into the caches yet, but looking forward to it. And yep, first step, get higher papyrus making skill. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to improve books in order to get that papyrus making skill. So let's look up books. Never done this before, by the way. So yeah, there you see it. Books is papyrus making. I have heard that they improve like cloth tailoring, and I have a set of semi-good cloth tailoring skilling tools, so we'll use those. Papyrus sheet and string of cloth. So in here I have a bunch of papyrus sheets. I wonder if paper sheets work too. Yeah, paper sheets work too. I will take all 14. I'll take all 14, and it's possible I might need more. Well, we'll see how the night goes, because we'll see how this goes. I'm afraid I might need to whip out a press. Oh, and look at that Zed fighting. Look at that Zed fighting. Goodness. This is one thing that I think could potentially be addressed somehow. I'm not sure how. I'm not at all knowledgeable in how to deal with this stuff, but I'm sure there must be a way. There must be a way to make it so that this doesn't happen. There must be a way. Anyway, let's get to my string. Do I have string in here? There it is. I do have string. That's my high quality string. I think I'll just use this one. Okay, so I have whatever. I'll take 10 for now. Let's double check how much books need. So I'm confused. I've never made a book before, so I'm not sure exactly how this is going to go. But let's try it out. Let's put 1 and 1, and let's make a book. Let's just try. What's going to happen? Do I get a full book out of 1 string and 1 blank paper? We'll find out. We'll find out. Or we won't. That's also potential, and it used up a little bit of something or other. Okay, I'll just combine that. Yeah, your press sucks too. You know what it is that I do have a press. It's somewhere. I have made paper before. The problem is I have misplaced it. I must have put it somewhere, and it seems to be gone. Okay, so that made a book. Completely finished a book. Okay, so it seems like I can then put paper into that book, but first I can improve that book. So that's what we're going to be doing here. So let's just make a bunch of books. We'll make a bunch of books, and then we'll improve them up, and we'll see where the night takes us. I'm wondering if I can move my mic here a little bit. I'll move it over to this side. So how is everybody doing tonight? You guys also playing some Wurm? One thing I've been doing a little bit of here and there is popping into people's streams. What's Kilross saying to me? He's saying, you can barely make out the signature of its maker, Griffith's Press. Not sure what that means, but do you have my press? Is that what it is, Kilroth? So yeah, I've been popping in and out of people's streams. Late last night, I saw Gaffer was logging on, Gaffer Boffin. He streams on, he doesn't stream on Twitch, but he streams on Mixer, which I think is Microsoft's version of Twitch. And I must say, Mixer looks really nice in comparison to Twitch, that is. There's a lot of extra features that Mixer gives, plus it seems to work extremely smoothly. There's also very little latency between the time that the video is being recorded and the time that you see it. I know on Twitch it's like a good 5 to 10 seconds between the time that I say stuff and the time that you're able to see it. So on Mixer it seems like it's almost immediate, like almost nearly immediate, which is kind of nice. Oh, I am. You know what? Yesterday I had a circle of cunning piece of cloth somewhere. What did I do with that? Can't believe that I would have lost it between yesterday and today. No, it's not in there. I really hope I didn't just dump it into the bulk storage bin. I actually kind of think that you can't do that anymore. Am I right? Ah, there it is. There's the string of cloth. Okay, so I'll bring that string of cloth out and combine it. I think 10 books is plenty. I'll put the rest of the paper away, and we'll just get to imping them. We'll see how that goes. All right, so I also should check my water. I have 28 kilograms of water. So I'm going to bring this whole setup over to my fountain, and we'll get started, and we'll see how it goes there. So Valier, you're just grinding out some alchemy, but accidentally used up your circle of cutting part. Ah, hate when that happens. Absolutely hate when that happens. Let's see. Zenomir, you're playing Minecraft. Needed a break from your massive farm. Working on it daily for months. Yeah, I know how that is. Farms are just a lot of grinding through, for sure. So Validate, you're working on your new deed. Oh yeah, you moved just down the road here, up against the water. That's awesome. An awesome spot. I've always been very jealous of that spot that Black Hill occupied for so long. You're committed to make this move your last. Well, it's a good spot. It's a good spot to have as your last move. What is the best way to get up your mind logic to 21 as a new tune? It's a good question. You know what? I'm going to come back to that one in just a minute. Meanween suggests work on your fine carpentry. Purging birch in Wurm. Okay, that's good. That's good. So getting that wood cutting skill, is that right? Yeah, it was Black Hill. Black Hill is the name of that deed. Okay, so back to that mind logic question. Actually, you know what? Let's queue up a bunch of actions, and then I'll get into the idea, my strategy for mind logic. Okay, so here we go. I will just queue up the whole row there. Okay, so mind logic. There is one way that is way faster than every other way there is, like by a good 5 times as fast. However, it does require a good setup and a lot of resources, and that is to do the hot food cooking grind, which is, you know, people call it pan filling, because really that's all that that's the really grindy part. So the idea is you can start out small, like especially as a new player and you're just trying to get to 21 or something like that. So get like an oven, get a bunch of frying pans, as many as you can muster yourself, but a full oven of 100 pans would probably be perfect. But, you know, as a new player, you might want to start small, so start with like 20 pans or something like that. And then you're going to need a bunch of meat and a bunch of vegetables, or something like that that's going to make lots of food. And so you just get a whole bunch of meat together. You can spend the time to fillet them or not. It's up to you. But the general idea is this. So however many pans you have, you fill them up with one meat, one veggie. And once they're all full, then you're going to take, you know, a kindling and light the forge, or the oven rather. And the moment that all the meals make, every single one of them is going to give you a skill tick, potential skill tick in mind logic. Also in soul depth and hot food cooking. So it's a good way to get your hot food cooking up as well. Now 20 is not so much, but what happens is that if you build up your setup so that you have about 100 pans in an oven, you fill all 100 pans, you light it once, and the moment that they all, you know, turn into the meal or whatever it is, you get 100 attempts at a skill tick. Now, 100 is still not that great. So what people do, especially when you're trying to, you know, make the grind really high, what they'll do is they'll get 10 forges, and they'll fill each of those forges up with 100 pans. So you have now 1,000 pans. And then you get enough material, so 1,000 pieces of meat and 1,000 vegetables, and you sit there and you fill them all up. Fill up all the pans. And there are strategies out there to fill pans faster. Like, it might seem like a daunting task, but with certain strategies and tricks, like I know of a guy who can fill 1,000 pans in like under 10 minutes, which is super fast. I think my personal best was 13 minutes. It took me 13 minutes to do 1,000 pans. Actually, I had about 1,200 pans, and I would fill them up in about 13 minutes. That was like my absolute fastest. But there are people out there who have like crazy strategies to fill those pans. And once they're all full, then you light them all up and you just wait. You turn on your sleep bonus. You get your affinity food, whatever it is, just maximize the skill, and you just sit there and wait for all the meals to make. And once they all pop, you get 1,000 attempts at, you know, the skill, and it just, yeah, it flies. Now, right, it's not whoever lights the forge, it's whoever puts the meals or the components into the pan. Yeah. So whoever puts the components into the pan. I believe if, let's say, one person wants to fill the pans, but you want another person to get the skill, then what you do is the first person fills all the pans, and then the second person takes all the pans into their inventory. I think it has to be into your inventory, and then puts them back into the oven. And then that resets the owner. Yeah, you get an insane amount of mind logic if you sort of can get that setup going. Oh, I should turn on my sleep bonus. There we go. And I don't know why this didn't fill. I will fill it. There we go. Yeah, it's technically whoever puts them into the forge. But like, for example, if I put the pans into the forge and then my friend over here puts all the components into those pans, then my friend would get all the skill. So it's, yeah, the owner of the meal is dictated by whoever puts the components into the forge. But if somebody then takes the pan out of the forge and puts the pan back in, then you are now the owner. I know, it's kind of weird how it works, but that's sort of how it works. Nonetheless, I think bar none, that's the fastest way to get your mind logic up. Now, having said that, my mind logic is 55, and I haven't filled one pan on this character. I haven't gotten one skill tick from hot food cooking. In fact, if we took a look at my hot food cooking, you'd probably laugh at my cooking, because I've done all my cooking on another character. So my hot food cooking is 6. 6. I don't even know where I got that 6. Probably in my first days of playing this game, when we were all scrounging for food and putting it into pottery bowls and into campfires. But yeah. Now, if pan filling is not for you, it isn't for everybody. It's like a grueling. It feels like you're metagaming it. Nonetheless, it does give you fast skill, but it's a little grueling, and the setup takes a long time, a lot to invest. I think that the second best way really is to just improve things. So you really can get this by picking a good skill. Like carpentry is a good one. Carpentry gives mind logic, but so does blacksmithing. In fact, I think a lot of mine came from blacksmithing and mining. Mining is another good place to get mind logic. But no matter what, this game is slow, especially for the characteristic skills like mind logic, which go up super, super slow. So it's one of those things that you just gotta play the game, and that skill will go up pretty much automatically. Hey, Garginum, sorry. This giveaway is not for a little while. We are starting off with Papyrus Making, and we are going to see how this goes. I haven't even been looking at my Papyrus skill, but it looks like I'm getting some nice gains. It's great when you're just starting out a skill and your skill's really low and you're seeing those 0.1 skill gains. Those are a lot of fun. So yeah, for those of you who are just tuning in, the giveaway is going to be done through a game of Deal or No Deal. And one lucky contestant, one lucky viewer is going to be chosen by a random Nightbot. And that viewer is going to play a game of Deal or No Deal, where I'll act as the host, and we'll see how it goes. My first time doing it, so it's very likely that I screw it up. But we'll see how it goes, and I've sort of thought through the plan, and we're going to try to execute it. And that person has the chance to win as much as 1 gold. But if you've ever seen the game Deal or No Deal, it's really, you have a chance to win anywhere between 0 and 1 gold. 1 gold is the grand prize, so we'll see how that goes, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. So yeah. That's what we're doing. But up until then, we're going to be working on my Papyrus Making, and I do want to talk a little bit about the going-ons in Wurm. There was, it seemed, like a big forum hullabaloo this week that I tried to keep track of, and I read through in a massive, immense post that seemed to get out of hand. And yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to discuss this, and I was going to do an update for my car, but I never got around to it regarding this, just to hash out my thoughts. So this here is just going to be my raw, unedited thoughts about what happened regarding Sindusk and the events that led to his leaving the Wurm team, and what I feel like that means for the game, and yeah, it's a touchy subject, I think, but I'll try to tread carefully on it. Let's see here. Do you just buy reed, or do you just have like a farm for it? What are we talking about here? Do I have a farm for what? Not sure. What do you mean, Earth God? Oh, wood scrap plus water. Oh yeah, this is for the pulp. Yeah. So yeah, you make paper by taking wood scrap and water to create pulp, and then you use a press on the pulp, and that gives you paper. Yeah, yeah, it's such a good addition, because up until that point, paper was very, very challenging to get. So yeah, Syndusk. So Syndusk was a developer, a volunteer developer, who joined the team not too long ago, and he originally was a Wurm Unlimited modder. He also ran his own server, and he did a bunch of coding for Wurm Unlimited, modding a whole bunch of stuff, and then he had some great ideas, and so he volunteered to join the Wurm Online team. And since then, he tackled some of the biggest, most pressing issues that this game had, and his focus, his thoughts were, grand scale. So he had this vision of fixing the combat system, the priest system, doing an overhaul for the priest system, which actually is what he ultimately worked on the most. And brought that into fruition. The big priest change was really driven mostly by him, although a lot of the other devs had a big part in that. And he had, made plans to work on the combat system, which everybody was holding their breath for, because Syndusk seemed to be a go-getter. He had a good mind for planning the systems out and to thinking through them in a logical way that made sense for the game, and people had high hopes that this would come to, something that revamps the whole combat system. I would say that the combat system is one of the things that still remains in this game that is a big barrier for a lot of people. They see the combat and they think, wow, that combat's just slow, and no amount of convincing these people. There's no amount of convincing that you could do to convince them to have an open mind to this game once they see the combat system. So it was really, really exciting to hear of this volunteer dev who, seemed competent enough to tackle such a huge issue. Now, it almost felt sudden this week that we get sort of a post. You know what? I want to just take a look at that post. Let's pull it up, because it was like the first person to post this wasn't even Syndusk or any of the devs or anything like that. It was like the word got out somehow, and that Syndusk has decided to retire from the Wurm team after some controversy. I'm not even sure what it is. Let's see. Did they get rid of the post? I can't even see it here anymore. Yeah, they might have just got rid of it. Oh, no, there it is. QuickTor started it. QuickTor started this post, and he says, I can't thank you enough for things you've done and the change that you brought to this game. Well, I was probably one of the people who was one of the more annoying ones. I was even more amazed by what you put out and at what speed. May your work find your route somewhere else. Okay, so that was the first post that I read that gave me any indication that there was something wrong. And once I got down to the post that Syndusk himself actually made, it sort of was like, what is going on? Like, it seemed like there was some disagreement in the back channels regarding how the devs communicate to the player base. Syndusk has been sort of one of those types of devs to be very open in his communication, like just everything he thought just got poured out onto the forums, and he, people would comment on his post, and he would just comment back on everybody's post that, like he would have one big massive post, and it was just like a quote from a player and his response, and another quote from a different player and his response, and it was just like the amount of communication was super refreshing, because we've never had this kind of communication from the development side, and it sort of put him on the map as being a dev that listens to the player base and responds and takes into account the needs and wants of everybody. Now, I think that this sort of got him into some hot water because, I think that the dev team has sort of like a policy or some kind of protocol for how to go about revealing information to the general player base about updates and development of the game. Now, I completely sympathize with the devs side of things, like with the Wurm team's side of things, because I have seen communication from the dev team that has backfired in their face, and that has happened so many times in the past that it seems very clear that the dev team has put into place these sort of policies to mitigate any backlash from the player base that could potentially be damaging to the Wurm community or damaging to the Wurm team or to the game itself. I think that's a super important thing to consider from the development side of things. I was trying to, while this whole thing was going on, I was trying to think of like examples of how this has gone wrong in the past, but there have been lots of times where the development team has promised something or have put something down in, one of their, like they have these interviews once a year or something like that, where they go through all these, it used to be in IRC, they'd hold these interviews where they would, this was way back when Rolf was at the helm, and he would, talk about their vision for this year and what they wanted to see, and he would go on and on about all these grand things that sounded amazing on paper, but then they were never followed through on, or things changed, priorities changed, and next thing you know, these things aren't getting put into the game, and the player base is getting super upset because, in one breath you said this, but now this isn't happening anymore, and, it caused lots of anger. So yeah, the Wurm team has been caught in this problem. Hey, I just saw a follow. Was that a follow? I missed it. See, this is one of those things that I wish, if I was streaming on Mixer, this wouldn't be an issue. Twitch seems to have this issue with not keeping me apprised of what's going on here. I heard a little ding, but by the time I looked over, the message was gone. I apologize. But thank you for that follow, and welcome to the stream. I'm brave to wade in these waters, yes. I know. I'm going to try to be as, what's the word? Politically correct as I can. I think it's important to talk about these things. I really do think it's important to talk about these things because in order for, when these things are sort of closed up, you lose some faith potentially. Some people may lose faith in this game and its direction, and I think that it's important for us to discuss these things so that we have that open mind about what's going on, and we can kind of rationalize things from a perspective that's healthy for this game. You tend to rely on email notifications for follower alerts because everything else is a hit or miss. Yeah, I know. It's like I got to set up something. I got to set up like a Nightbot to tell me or something. Let me see. Maybe Nightbot actually does tell me. Let's see. Does Nightbot tell me? No. I don't see anything. I could probably set up something where like Nightbot says something when a follow happens. I'm just not just not that versed in it. Yeah, it'll take me too long to figure it out here. Yeah, if the conversation is responsible and thoughtful versus rage blast, yeah, I know exactly. That's the problem, is that a lot of these forum posts are just rage, outrage, like crazy, you know. And I think that the dev team has handled this situation very well. Every message that has come out from the dev team has been well thought out, and you know, I know that they have their reasons for what has happened. And really, I think that it was Syndusk who initiated the whole leaving. Like, he seemed upset with a couple, like, okay, so there's one incident that I remember distinctly was Syndusk was invited onto Bloody Drongo stream to discuss the Priest update prior to its release. And I think he hopped into the stream before letting the rest of the Wurm team know that he was going to do that. So I guess there was no pre-discussion about, you know, what sorts of things he was allowed to discuss and what sorts of things needed to be kept back. So he was just going off on the cuff, and I think it sent a little bit of anxiety in the background. You know, the Wurm team was like worried that something would be said that wasn't supposed to be said. You know, like, the reality is that before a release happens, before, you know, an update happens, the development team has a plan that potentially could change. You know, like, they want to implement something like this, but then that doesn't work so well. So there's maybe one person is on the task of, like, taking that and turning it into something else that will work properly with the rest of the systems or whatever it is. But if, let's say, Syndusk didn't know that, and Syndusk reveals that this is coming to the game, but in the background they're like, but that's not actually coming to the game, and now you just told the entire player base that it is, and then that can cause a potential situation for more outrage, where a player gets excited about this thing coming to the game, but the development team has already decided it's not, and you know, so I remember hearing through the back channels that, because you know, we're part of the Venn network, so there was a message that went out afterwards that said, if there's any, you know, development discussion on your show, just make sure that you pass it through official channels first. So there was like that message. So we kind of got the idea of what happened, and that was one thing that Syndusk sort of laid out in his post. I don't think he specifically mentioned that it was, you know, when it was, but he did say, like, one incident was he was going onto a stream, and he felt berated, I guess. He felt that he was, you know, being chastised for doing it, which I can see where that perspective comes from, but I think that the Wurm team was just trying to communicate that he needs to just run it by the development team, that he's going to go on in a public and talk about the development of the game, just so that the team could say, you know, here, let's lay out a plan for what we're going to reveal to the players today, right? Because they're on a schedule for what they're going to reveal, and they have it all planned out in the background, so they don't want somebody, especially a junior volunteer dev, like somebody who just joined the team, to come out and just start going, you know, off the cuff and talking about all the background stuff that's going on in the development. So I can kind of see it from both sides, because Syndusk is the type of player who wants to be, you know, super proactive and communicative and lay it all out there, and I totally appreciate that about him. He was so good at that, like, about keeping people updated about his progress and what he was thinking, and he was taking input and feedback like a hero. It was just amazing to see that. You could tell, though, that he has not experienced the backlash of that. And I know for a fact that the Wurm team has experienced the backlash from being super open and honest about what they're thinking in the background. Because, you know, it's true that what a lot of Syndusk, what he was communicating was a lot of his thought process, right? And it's like not completely formulated thoughts sometimes, you know, just sort of shooting out ideas, for example. But the player base could potentially take one of those ideas as being the solid truth, like this is exactly what's going to happen, and they can get overexcited about just a idea, thinking that it's going to come to the game, and then they can hold it against you. The player base can hold it against you for not bringing it into the game. And I know that that happens a lot. Okay, so let's hear what you guys are saying about this. Oh, Perry, you have Muxibot set up to drop notifications in your Discord when you get followers. Okay, Muxibot, I'll have to look into that. So Rabid Scab, you're saying the same fervor that made him a great dev, lightning fire under things, getting big things done, probably was also the very nature of what made it hard to operate in the confines of set out by the dev. Yeah, totally. That's exactly how I felt. Like, he did have this fire underneath him that just fueled this process of getting stuff done. Like, he just got stuff done. And it was kind of refreshing and amazing to see that happen. It's hard to see it from the player's point of view. It's hard for me to see it. Like, I don't know how to develop a game, and I don't know what goes into the you know, all the details of it, but you know, it definitely seemed like that gung-ho attitude that he had put the dev team on sort of like red alert for the entire, and you know, from some of the communications from the dev team, it seemed like Syndusk was just sort of like a lone wolf. He was going off and doing all these things and not 100% playing as a team, where the team would say, you know, well, we can't do this because these reasons, like we have our reasons, and Syndusk just sort of didn't see those reasons as being valid, and there was a lot of seemed like there was a lot of conflict there. Ultimately, that's the reason why he cited why he left. It just seems like a conflict of interest, and it's sort of like, you know, you hear about these things, creative differences and such, and he seemed like a very headstrong person who had a lot of great ideas and a lot of motivation to get stuff done. But in that process of doing that, he sort of rubbed people the wrong way, I guess. So, I don't know. I'm sad to see him go. He meant a lot to the game in my eyes in terms of like where it was going. And without him, I know for a fact the game will go on because, you know, the core group of developers are still there. The core group that's been there since the beginning are still there. And they're going to keep going on. And no doubt there's going to be more volunteer developers, just like there always has been. You know, volunteer developers come and go. You know, Titch was a volunteer developer, if you can believe it. She was a player first and volunteered her time to develop Wurm systems and was amazing at it. You know, there will be more. And, you know, we just gotta be patient while the whole process happens. Yeah, he was to many our superstar of performance. Otherwise, so it was all unfortunate. Yeah. It is unfortunate the way that it worked out. But I have faith in this game. I have faith in the development team. I have faith that this game is going to continue being developed in the right direction. Because, you know, while Syndusk he was like a superstar. He was like, you know, a left winger in hockey. You know, just one of those guys that just can put the puck in the net sort of guys. But, you know, the entire team is not just reliant on one person. You know, you have You have a solid core group of people who are working devotedly to this game and very passionate about the game. And I have utmost faith that they'll see this game through to wherever it's going. Now, having said that, I was discussing with Brian. I can't remember if it was on the stream or if it was after the stream or the next day. I can't remember. But we were talking about how we used to get, it was about once a year, a development roadmap. You know, what were the plans of the developers? What sorts of things are on the docket? What can we kind of expect to see in terms of development over the years, over the next year, the coming year? And with the new year just passing, you know, we're actually in February. Today's February 1st. We're already a month into the new year. I think it's about time. It's about time to see that roadmap, because, you know, most things that were on the previous roadmap are now complete, and it's been a while since we saw a roadmap. So, yeah, really interested to see what's on the what's on the minds of the developers. Where do they see the game going? What are the plans? You know, one thing that I know, and this was coming straight from Syndusk, is that he seemed very impressed with how the developers are implementing things into the game in terms of future-proofing them, making sure that, you know, we know that this is going to be worked on sometime in the future, so we're gotta have to like make space here in the code to make sure that all this stuff is going to fit into place when that is going to be done. But we still don't know what that is. We still don't know where the plans are, and it seemed like the devs have an idea of what's going to happen in the future, but are definitely reluctant to say what it is. And on the one hand, I can see why. They don't want to make any promises that they can't keep. And, you know, that apparently is from past experience. You know, they've made promises that they couldn't keep, and I think that the perception from the dev team is that has come back to bite them. So I want to sort of throw this out there because it was Syndusk's, one of the things that he said in that final post. He was mentioning, like, what's so wrong with shooting off an idea and saying this is something we are interested in putting in, but then later, sometime down the road, saying, you know, due to X, Y, and Z, we can't put this in right now. Like, what is so wrong with that? And I know that it might make people upset that to hear that this can't get put in, or maybe this is getting put on the back burner. But at the same time, I think that it would still be okay if that happened. If they were to say, you know, we want to implement tree houses, and we're going to start working on tree houses, so you'll be able to build your houses in trees. And then, you know, a month from now, after working on it for a month, they realize there's some technical limitation that they can't do this, and they need to wait until some other thing gets done before tree houses can come into effect. And then at that point, saying the truth, like, this is what issues we've run into. I don't see an issue with that. You know, maybe some people who are really excited to have tree houses come into the game are now going to be grumbling that it's being delayed. But you know what? At the same time, I think that you might find that some people, you know, this community of Wurm players are a group of what's the word I'm looking for? A group of people with ingenuity. So you're going to find that maybe somebody out there is going like, you know what? Maybe I could take a look at the problem that you're having, and maybe I can volunteer my time and try to help you out with this. You really want ducks. Ducks, yes, these are big ones. You know, I really don't see anything wrong with revealing plans that you're not 100% sure with. And those people who get outraged and flame the forums and everything like that, when this happens, I think that it's very clear to see that these people are not rationally thinking about the situation. One thing I agree with that Sindas said is that really when you're communicating to your player base, all you need to do is sound human, and humans make mistakes. Humans tend to, try their best, but if they can't fulfill a promise that they made, then they apologize and life goes on. And I really think that would be okay. It would be okay. The core people who love this game and who pour their heart and soul into it will still play. And if somebody is willing to leave the game simply because of one thing that the devs promised but couldn't fulfill, that person was probably going to leave anyway. And they're probably, if they're going to go flame the forums, then they probably were going to flame the forums anyway. There's just there's people out there who are like that. And so I think that the core group of people who are watching the devs and reading the forums and playing the game, they wouldn't mind if the devs sort of came out and honestly told exactly what's going on. And that's how I feel anyway. Maybe that's just me, and maybe I'm being naive, and I don't know the whole story, but that's how I would feel anyway. Let's see here. Oh, you guys started talking and I'm missing. So I'm going to go back up a little bit here. Wow, a lot up. I missed a whole lot. Okay, so Rabbit Scap, you're saying the development team is 300% better than it has ever been. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with that the development is going to remain strong, and I have total faith in this team. So Validate, you just bought a year sub in Wurm. My faith is long-term, so many good things. Few bad gets forgotten about, I feel, with all the newer good developments. Yeah, I totally agree with that. It can never be 100% perfect. With a game this complicated and with you have players who are so diverse. Oh, I'm running out of stamina. That it's almost like you can't please them all. As I said before in the stream, I'm a teacher, so I know exactly how it is. I have so many students, and I know for a fact when you have people, it's no matter what you do, you can't please everybody 100% of the time. It's just the nature of things. But all you can do is be yourself and be honest and be a human. Just treat people like humans and be considerate and do the best that you can do, and people see that. And when you're in that mode where you're doing the best that you can do, and you're thinking of other people's feelings, and sure, people might get upset and you might have conflicts, but in the end you're going to be, it's how you present yourself is going to be received by the wider group of people. And maybe there's that one person there that's upset and throwing a tantrum, and it's really easy to get focused in on that one person and think that's the general feeling about everybody's holding, but really it's just that one person. So as long as you stay vigilant and be yourself and be honest and handle it with dignity, then everybody else is going to be on your side. Let's see what else is being said here. They really have to do more roadmaps. This is way back, but yes, roadmaps. Totally. I'm looking forward to seeing another roadmap. Cloaks, hammocks, absolutely. These are awesome suggestions. I would love to see a hammock. I definitely put that hammock up. I like it better not having any of my own input. Zalberg. Oh, I see. I missed your previous one. You say, I have a hard time making suggestions for games that you really like. You like it better not having any of your own input. Oh, yeah, okay. So, like, I can see that. So you just go with the flow. Whatever the devs put in, you're just going to enjoy that. And you just want to enjoy rather than, yeah, I could totally see that. I'm like that sometimes, although Brian tends to pull me into that rabbit hole of making suggestions. Log cabins, yes. You got to know that that's coming. Log cabins has got to be coming for sure. We can build a dock in ways, but we can't build log cabins. True. It would be nice though to have a dock that can extend out pretty far, and then that way boats can pull up to it much easier than they can now. Well, aside from player reaction, development often is protected for many reasons regarding competition and control of that next great feature that translates to pay race. And yeah, although how many other games are trying to poach Wurm's stuff? I don't know how much they need to be sort of secretive in the competitive market of sandbox games. You know, maybe there's part of it, but I don't think there's any other game out there that's close to where Wurm is. And when Wurm starts putting in new stuff, it's like on top of all the other stuff that they put in. So I think a lot of other games need to catch up. They need to catch up. If I don't get an eye patch by 2020, I'm gone. Chess, yes, chess and checkers, totally. Zalbag, there you go. You got a good suggestion right there. After saying you don't like making your own suggestions. But yeah, mini games, chess, checkers, that would be so cool. I remember making that suggestion once on a stream a long time ago, where you would have you'd have to make all your chess pieces, and then you put them in like a bag or something like that, and then you can activate the bag and right click and play chess, and you'll have the ability, like it'll lay out the chessboard onto a table, and you and a friend can sit down, and you'll each be able to use the place mechanism to like place your pieces, and you would have to play, and you know, like the game wouldn't have coded the rules. Like all you would need is the pieces and place those pieces. That would be so cool. Really, all that needs to be done is the artwork and the models of the items, and maybe a mechanism that sort of sets up the board. But other than that, even if you don't have that mechanism to set up the board, I think that you can easily play a game of chess in this game as long as you had the board and pieces to go on it. So yeah, that would be awesome. Let's see here. Okay, Perry Hellion. Oh, you're going to start your own stream. So yeah, that's awesome. If you didn't know, Perry Hellion is also part of the VEN network, the Valray Entertainment Network. And so yeah, he's going to have his own stream, and maybe at some point or another we'll raid his stream. So yeah. Yeah, I know. You know what it is when you're streaming, and maybe you should try this out sometime. For all of you guys who've never streamed before, you guys should try it out, because it's a fun experience. But yeah, I really have a hard time talking and keeping my thoughts all in one place at the same time as trying to keep this up. You know, if I'm on my own, I'm pretty good at keeping my eye on the timer and keeping my eye on all this stuff. But, you know, the moment I turn away and start reading these comments and I start talking, and it's like keeping it all in my mind is really, really hard. Yeah, there's a chess at Linton. Linton, you know what? I don't know if you know this, but we built Linton. We were the ones who made that chessboard. Brian, that was Brian's idea. And we got Retro to paint all the pieces a really, really dark black color for the black pieces. Yeah, but I'm not sure how easy it would be to play on that board. But it's doable, I'm sure. Doable. Yeah, you made videos on your deeds, but you hate talking. It's hard if you hate talking. But yeah, it's something that I think the skill of talking is something that translates to your real life. Brian, for example, found that after doing our show for about a year, he felt way more confident in job interviews, in presentations, just being able to practice the skill of saying what's on your mind and thinking about, sort of trying to coordinate your ideas and just discuss them and that sort of thing helped immensely in real life practical situations. And I totally agree. I mean, I talk for a living pretty much as a teacher. I pretty much have to convey really complicated ideas to students who are just learning this stuff for the first time. So being able to articulate thoughts is a skill that I have to develop. And yeah, streaming is sort of like an outlet for me. I really enjoy it personally. Give me bars, lutes, drums, and for gosh sake, dolphin chariots and mountable snowy mammoths. These are all good things. You know, especially the music. I would love to see musical instruments come to Wurm. I'm not sure exactly how you would incorporate that, but yeah. Okay, so I think it's about time that we start up this Deal or No Deal game. What do you guys think? I think it's about that time. I'm not sure exactly how long this is going to take. And this is our first run through, and we'll see how this goes, because if it goes well, we might just make this a regular thing. We'll have to see how it goes. So here's how this is going to work. We're going to choose one lucky viewer at random, and I'm going to pop up a here. Let's just do that first so you guys can see what's going on here. Literally right now it's just an Excel spreadsheet. So there it is. There is our Deal or No Deal list. So if you've never played Deal or No Deal, the way it works is that each one of these items is in a case, and those cases are numbered 1 through 26. Although you don't know which one is in which case. It's not in order, so it's randomized. And so the person who gets chosen to play this game, what they're going to do is they're going to choose one of these boxes or one of these cases that contains one of these items to be their case. And they're going to hold on to that case for the rest of the whole game. And then after that, there's going to be rounds. Each round, the player picks a certain number of cases. I'll let you know how many cases you get to choose. And we open them up. And if you open every case that you open, you lose that quantity. At the end of each round, the banker is going to call and give you an offer. And that offer, you can either take it by saying deal, or you can deny it by saying no deal. And if you deny it, you move on to the next round and choose more cases to eliminate. And what you're trying to do is eliminate all of the really, really crappy prizes and leave all the really, really big prizes, because as the banker sees that you are about to win all these big prizes, they're going to entice you with a better and better deal. You have it on TV in the UK. Yeah, we have it on TV here too. So I'm just laying out the game here. We'll see how it goes. So let's do this. Let's get Nightbot up here, and I'm going to do a keyword sort of thing here. So let's put this in. I'm going to say da 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 da. Now, I always mess this up. This is something that I got to really get better at. But, okay, we'll try this. I'm going to, let's see here, reset. Okay, let's try this. The keyword is deal. So if you want to participate, you're going to type in deal into the chat right now, and I will let you know if that's working. Ah, it is working. There we go. Yep, so type in deal into the chat right now for your chance to play a round of Deal or No Deal. And I'll give you guys a minute to make sure that you can get all that in there. Yeah, we got a bunch of people. Look at all those deals. Look at them all. They're all incoming. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn off my sleep bonus for now because I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to keep this up. We'll get back to that right after. All right. I'm going to bring this over here on my screen so I have a way better view of it. All right. Okay, so last chance to enter in deal in order to play a round of Deal or No Deal for your chance to win up to 1 gold in this game. So I'm going to roll it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. And the lucky winner is Budzilla. Budzilla, you've been following since September 2016. Wow, you've been, you've been, what's the word I'm looking for? A loyal viewer. Congrats, Budzilla. You are our next contestant on Deal or No Deal. And thanks for that follow, Wimali. How's it going? Welcome to the game. Welcome to the show and to the game. Deal or No Deal. I don't know. It sort of Nightbot just let me know. Popped up. Budzilla, you have been following since September 2016, and I can't see. I really have to get better at figuring all this stuff out. But yeah. Okay. So Budzilla, here's what's going to happen. You are going to first choose a number between 1 and 26. Because there are 26 boxes, and each box contains one of these items. It's fixed. I assure you, not fixed at all. This is totally random, and I have it all here in front of me. So let me know which box you want to pick. 1 through 26. You know what I realized? I realized something. I do not have the box numbers on the screen. So I'm going to have to fix that. I'm going to fix that really quickly. I apologize. This is the very first time I'm trying this, and you're going to have to give me a second here to make sure that we can see all the boxes. I want this one to be, that's not right. From the right, I need it to, oh, I know what I need to do. Yeah, that's the way I want to go. But I just want to go just enough so you can see the boxes. Little bit more. Let's try 500. Can you see the box numbers? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring this a little bit closer. There we go. Now let me see how that looks. There we go. There's the box numbers. So, as you choose the box numbers, what I'm going to do, as you choose the boxes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete them from the screen so you can know which boxes are left. So let's start. You have chosen number 13, box number 13. So that is your box. I am going to highlight that box. Boy, oh boy. I am going to have to get my setup really much better than this for next time. But nonetheless, I don't know how to color that. Let's color it somehow. There we go. I will color it green. There we go. There's your box. Okay, we don't know what's in that box, and I apologize for the way that it's set up. I'll have to set this up next time a little bit differently. It almost seems like the 13 is next to the 1 silver, but there's no relation between this column here and this column here. So you picked box number 13, which has an unknown amount of money in it, and that is your box for the rest of the show. In the next round, in the first round, you're going to choose 6 boxes, and those boxes will be eliminated from play. Okay, so the idea is you would like to eliminate the small ones while keeping all the big ones as much as you possibly can. So let's do one at a time. What is the first box that you want to eliminate? 1 through 26, all except for 13. And while you're choosing your boxes, I'm going to queue up another set of actions here. And what the hell, I'll just put on my sleep bonus for the fun of it. We'll see how this goes. Yeah, so you do not, just so you make sure that you know, you do not know what box has what silver in it. Okay, so all you can see, all those numbers there, all those numbers over there are just what is remaining. And I'm gonna, reveal. So you pick box number 4, you're gonna get a sense of what this is. So I'm gonna delete box number 4. Okay, so you've chosen box number 4. And box number 4 has, let me make sure that this is good. Box number 4 has 2 copper. So that's good, 2 copper. So I'm gonna eliminate the 2 copper. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm going to fill it red. There we go. 2 copper has been eliminated from the board. What is the next box that you choose? Yeah, 2 copper is a great start. 2 copper is a great start. Choose another box. You got 6 boxes to choose. Box number 22. Box number 22 has 40 silver in it, I'm afraid. 40 silver is eliminated from the board, and box number 22 is gone. Yeah, that's a big one. All right, choose your next box. Box number 15. Box number 15, let's see what box number 15 has. It has 2 iron. 2 iron is now gone. Awesome, that's a good one. Box number 15 is gone. Yep, that's an awesome pick. Whoops, I shouldn't be moving that. There we go. Okay, so you got, let's see, you picked 3 boxes. You got 3 more boxes. Number 19. So let's get rid of number 19. Let's see what it has in it. Number 19 has 10 iron. 10 iron. Whoops. I don't want to delete that. I want to make it red. What happened to the thing? What happened to the thing? Goodness, I moved it and now it's gone. There it is, got it. Okay, 2 more boxes this round. And we're going to hear from the banker. So choose 2 more boxes. $3 and $25. Okay, good. So let's get rid of number 3. And box number 3 has 20 silver. That's a big one. Okay, and number 25. Box number 25 we're going to get rid of, and box number 25 has 5 silver in it. There we go. And something's happening here. I'm just going to double check. I see. You know what? I copied this in. I am so sorry. I copied this into another thing and it got rid of all of my equations. Goodness. Okay. What am I gonna do here? Okay, I'm gonna do something really quick. I gotta make sure. I gotta put all these equations back. Let me go to my original thing. All the bugs I gotta work out from this thing. Next time I'll have it all a little bit better set up here, I think. But for now, I have to muddle through with what I got. So let's see here. So the banker is about to call, and when the banker calls, he's going to let us know. He's going to let us know what he offers you. Give me 1 second, though. Boy, oh boy. If only I planned this a little bit better. Okay, here we go. Whoops, 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 whoops. Okay, there we go. Just going to copy a couple equations into here to get it so that I can figure out what the deal is going to be. That's not right. Huh. I swear, I spent all this time programming this spreadsheet, and now it's like different from what I... Oh no, it's not. Okay, okay, there it is, there it is. There it is. There it is. Okay, that worked. And then I need to make this the sum. I apologize, guys. I really do. This won't take long. I will get all this in there. 2 more things. Yep, that worked. And last one. Okay, good. I think I got it all. Let's just double check here. case 3, case 4, case 15, case 19, 22, and 25 were all chosen. I feel like I'm missing one. Why am I counting 5 only? 1, 2, 3, 4. There it is. Yes. Okay. Whew. It is all done. And the banker's call is in. And the banker offers you 7 silver. So your choice now is that you can walk away with 7 silver right now and make the deal, or did I have the contents on the screen? I hope I didn't. I'm so sorry. I see what I did. I must have scrolled over. Oh boy, oh boy. I promise the next time none of this is gonna happen. Next time I'm gonna have it all set up and I'll know exactly what it is. Mix them up, mix them up. Well, let's see. I'm going to let it go because I'm just that nice of a guy. So, you can take 7 silver, or you can say no deal. And keep playing into round 2. What do you guys think? Should I mix up the boxes? I know, I did move them over. And then that means that you saw all the contents. Redo it. Redo it. I think I'm gonna mix up the boxes. I'm sorry. I promise. The next time, I promise I'm not gonna have this issue. The issue came because I copied my original document into a new sheet and then it deleted everything. So I'm gonna mix up the boxes. But this offer of 7 silver still stands. You could take that 7 silver and walk away right now, or redo. You want to redo? I can redo. I think that redoing is actually not so bad. We can redo. Yeah, we can start from the scratch. We can, you know, call that a trial and redo it. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. I can deal with redo. Okay, so let's put all these colors back. And of course I don't have the green that's there, but let's just do that. Let's take away this color here. Whoops. I just want regular, whoops, that's not, I want regular white. There we go. And we'll put all these back. Oops, 3. I will just do this. Of course it did that. As you can see, I'm not like a pro with this sort of stuff. But I'm going to now randomize all the boxes again. Copy. There we go. And then I'm going to now sort them. There we go. That seemed to work. And we are now reset, I think. Yes. We are reset. Okay, welcome to Deal or No Deal. We were going to start this again, Budzilla, you are our contestant, so please choose your box. That will be your box for the rest of the game. And of course, I'm wasting my sleep bonus while this is happening. But that's okay. So Budzilla, are you still there? Sticking with number 13. Okay, so box number 13 is your box. And it has an unknown amount of money in there. It's unknown still, right? I haven't shown it. Okay, good. And I'm going to color that in green so we know that that is your box. Okay, so we're going to enter round number 1 where you choose 6 cases and you can choose them one at a time. I'll try to keep up, but just, you know, if you put one at a time and give me a moment to... Yeah. You can wait 5 minutes and I'll show the contents again. Likely. But I'll try my best to keep this fair and fun and not reveal what's going on in the background. Okay, so you got 6 boxes to choose from. Or 6 boxes to choose. What is your first box? 8, 20, so let's start with number 8. So we'll get rid of number 8. And box number 8 has 10 silver in it. 10 silver is in box number 8. And box number 23, I'm sorry, my friend, box number 23 has 25 silver in it. Oh, not nearly as good as the last start, eh? And box number 2 has, oh boy, box number 2 has 75 silver in it. Not a good start, not a good start. Well, you got 3 more boxes this round. Let's try to make some really good choices here, Budzilla. I want to see a one iron here. Let's get 3 on this side to balance it out. All right, Budzilla, we're waiting on your 3 more choices for this round. I know it's a hard choice. But we want to see you pick the boxes with the low numbers in it. You know, the ones down here. Let's get 3 of these. Okay, so box number 25. Box number 25 has 3 silver in it. Okay, so 3 silver is gone from box number 25. Box number 6. There we go. Box number 6 has 5 iron in it. That's a good one. Box number 6, 5 iron. And box number 15. Box number 15 has 50 silver in it. Oh, 50 silver, another big one. Box number 15. Okay, let's just double check that we got 6 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes have been eliminated. All right, the banker is calling in and he is going to offer you 5.5 silver. 5.5 silver is your offer. What do you say, Budzilla? For 5.5 silver, you can walk away with that amount of money and call it a deal, or you can say no deal and we continue on to round 2 where you will eliminate 5 more boxes. No deal! I thought you might say no deal. So we're going to enter round number 2. In round number 2, you may pick 5 boxes to eliminate, or you must pick 5 boxes to eliminate before we hear another deal from the banker. Okay, so let's hear your 5 boxes. All right, Budzilla, I know it's a hard choice. But again, we want to pick these ones up here. We want to get rid of some of these small ones, and then the banker will come back with a much better offer, I guarantee you. What do you say? All right. So we got our 5 boxes. Our first box is box number 9. What does box number 9 have in it? Oh, man. Box number 9 has the 100 silver in it. Goodness, goodness. Boy, oh boy, Budzilla. Man, oh man. All right, box number 9 is now gone. It had the 100 silver in it. There it goes. I am so sorry. All right, on to the next boxes. There's still 40 silver up for grabs. Box number 11. Box number 11 has 20 silver in it. Man, this game is just not liking you. That's for sure. Box number 11 had 20 silver in it. I still feel, you know what? I feel like there is still hope. There is still hope. So keep your chin up. Box number 1. Here we go. Box number 1. We're going to open up box number 1, and it has 1 silver in it. Box number 1 has 1 silver. Okay, so let's get rid of box number 1. Box number 20. Well, you know, there's a high chance that it has... Did I show the contents again? Haha, yeah, you're trying to pull that one on me again. No chance. All right, where was I? Box number 20. Box number 20 has... What does box number 20 have in it? It has 2 copper in it. 2 copper. There we go. That's a good one. Got rid of the 2 copper. Box number 20 is gone. And the last one, box number 4. Box number 4 has 1 copper. All right, there we go. We got rid of a couple of small ones there. That one helps out a little bit. But we did lose the 100 silver. And we did lose the 75 silver. Well, let's see what the banker has to offer for you this time. All right. The banker's offer is 3.5 silver. It definitely went down this time. So you can take the deal of 3.5 silver, or you can continue playing and see how it goes with a chance of there's still a chance of 40 silver here. But there's also all these little ones up here. And Budzilla goes with no deal. No deal. You're still in it. Awesome. Here we go. Round number 3. You may choose, or you must choose 4 cases to eliminate in this round. 4 cases. There's a 1 in 15 chance that you have the 40 silver. That is true. A 1 in 15 chance. Not sure how much I like those odds, because that means there's a 14 out of 15 chance that you don't have the 40 silver. But nonetheless, there's always hope. There's always hope. And maybe the banker might feel a little generous on the next round. We'll see what happens. All right, so you're going to choose 4 cases this round. Choose wisely. And Budzilla comes in with a 17, 22, 5, and 10. So let's start with box number 17. Box number 17 has 50 iron. 50 iron is eliminated from the board. Box number, what was that? Box number 17. Let's just make sure that that gets eliminated so you don't pick it again. Valir, thanks for the follow. Thanks for the follow. All right. Box number 22. Box number 22 is open and it has 5 silver. Box number 22 had 5 silver. All right, box number 5. Box number 5 is open and it has the 7 silver. Oh boy, you're pulling out all the ones down here, Budzilla. That's not the way you want to go. You want to pick the ones that are up here. Let's get rid of box number 5 before I forget to do that. And box number 10. Box number 10 has the 30 silver in it. Oh. Boy, this game has just not been going your way. Box number 10 had the 30 silver in it. Well, let's hear from the banker. The banker has come in, and I think the banker's feeling a little bit generous today, because the banker is now offering you 5.5 silver. 5.5 silver, and you walk away with 5.5 silver in your pocket, or you can say no deal and continue playing. What do you say? I know it's a tough choice. 5.5 silver can be yours right now. All you have to say is deal. Or you can continue playing. In the next round, you will be eliminating 3 cases. 3 more cases will be eliminated. Hey, Mean One, thank you so much for that sub. Validate will pay you 1 silver in the game to no deal. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Yeah, and Garganum is pointing out that if you do lose the 15 and the 40 silver, you'll get nothing basically, so he would accept. Yeah, it's a hard choice, I know. No deal! Budzilla is still in it. He's going to keep going. This is exciting, guys. This is exciting. All right. On to round number 4. You must eliminate 3 cases. Here we go. You got 3 cases to eliminate. Before we hear another offer from the banker, let's make them good ones here. Yeah, we definitely don't want to eliminate that 40, because I'm not sure how generous the banker will feel after that, because he'll be looking at all these small ones over here. Okay, here we go. We got the 3 cases. We're going to eliminate case number 18 first. We open up case number 18, and it has 50 copper in it. 50 copper in case number 18 is eliminated from the board. Let's get rid of it. There we go. Case number 24. We're going to eliminate case number 24. And that one has 1 iron. 1 iron in case number 24. Red. Yep, there we go. Case number 24 has 1 iron in it. And that is the best case to have eliminated at that point, I think. So good job. Good job. And the last one is case number 3. And case number 3 has 25 copper. All right, 25 copper. All right, here we go. We're going to hear from the banker one more time. And you get to choose whether you're going to take the deal or continue on to the next round. Okay, the banker is now offering you 7 silver. 7 silver, you take it and you walk away with 7 silver, or you say no deal and you continue on to the next round where you will choose 2 more cases to eliminate before hearing another offer from the banker. What do you say, Budzilla? What do you say? Yep, there's still, you know what? There's still that 40 silver sitting there. Still the 40 silver. But you're going to have to eliminate 2 cases in the next round. No deal! He's sticking it out. Good. You know what? I don't know if I'd have those guts. 40 silver still up for grabs. And we are moving into round number 5. Validate is willing to pay to keep the game going. That's hilarious. All right, Budzilla, here we go. We are now moving into round number 5, where you will choose 2 more cases to eliminate before we hear another offer from the banker. What do you say? Which 2 boxes will you eliminate? Yeah, and Validate is good on his word, I'm sure. And the rest of you guys, you can feel free to offer up what boxes you want Budzilla to pick. You know, you can tell him which boxes you would pick. There we go. Budzilla's picking Jay Procash's suggestion of 21. Let's start with box number 21. Box 21 has 15 silver in it, my friend. 15 silver in box number 21. Boy, that's a big hit. We still got that 40, though, sitting there, but the 15 is gone, and the rest are way less than the previous offer from the banker. Okay. The next box is box number 14. Whew, let's hope there's no 40 silver in there. Box number 14 has 10 copper in it. Box number 14 eliminates the 10 copper, so let's get rid of that one. And we are down to, how many boxes is that left? 5 more boxes? There's 5 more boxes left. Oh, goodness. And the banker is calling in. Now, the banker's offer is 7 silver. That 15 silver brought it down. But his offer is still there. 7 silver. You can take that 7 silver and walk away. Or continue playing and eliminate cases and hope for that 40. That 40 in the last box. Because the rest, well, there is that 2 silver. That's not so bad. But you know, 7 silver What do you say? Well, there's 6 boxes is the one that he's holding, but there's 5 boxes to choose from for him to eliminate on the next round. No deal! Budzilla's gonna keep going. No deal. Boy, oh boy. All right, here we go. We are now moving into round number 6, in which you will eliminate 1 case. 1 more case to eliminate. Now, just so that you're aware of how the rest of this goes, we are going to eliminate 1 case each round from here on in. And the banker will continually give you offers after each case that you open. Here we go, Budzilla. It's the moment of truth. Choose 1 case to open. And then we will hear from the banker. So Budzilla's asking you guys, which box would you choose? He wants some inspiration. Which box would you choose to eliminate? Here we go. If you choose one of the low ones here, I'm sure the banker's offer is going to be a little bit better than the 7, but you definitely want to avoid that 40. Definitely want to avoid the 40, that's for sure. And Valier says, you can pick any box. You have the 40 silver. Yes, that is a possibility too. All right, so you're going to go with box number 12. Who, everybody cross your fingers. Box number 12 is going to be opened, and it has 2 silver in it. Box number 12 has 2 silver. Oh boy. All right. So the 2 silver is now gone. And the banker's calling in. And he is offering you 10 silver. 10 silver to walk away. You can take that 10 silver by taking that deal, or you can continue playing, in which you will eliminate 1 more case. What do you say, Budzilla? Deal or no deal? You can take your time on this one. I know this one's going to be a hard one to choose. Valier is giving you some odds that I'm not so certain about, but he says there's a 4 in 5 chance to get more than 10 silver. What do you guys think about that? 4 out of 5 chance to get more than 10 silver. I guess what he's saying is that if you choose on the next round, there's 4 boxes to choose from. Oh, I guess there's 5 boxes because one that you take. Man, this math is hard. This math is hard. Oh, and Budzilla took the deal. Congratulations, you have won 10 silver. Yeah, you had to do it. I know. It is a hard choice, but are you ready to see what was in your case? You're guaranteed the 10 silver. You walk away with the 10 silver. Amazing work, Budzilla. That's a good choice. But now is the moment of truth. We are going to open up your box to see what was in it. What was the box that you chose? Could it have been the 2 iron? Could it have been the 5 copper? Could it have been the 40 silver? Well, you would have had to make it through 2 more rounds after that one. Or 3 more rounds, rather. But let's see. What was in your box number 13? I'm going to scroll over, and we are going to reveal that you, my friend, had the... Oh, you wanted to play it out. We should have played it out. That's right. Ah, I'm so sorry. You're so right. We should have just played it out. But I messed that up. You would have had the 40 silver in your box, though you would have had to make it through 2 more rounds or 3 more rounds. But nonetheless, you won 10 silver, so congratulations. Good job, good job. So what do you guys think? Was that fun or what? I had a ton of fun doing that. I had a ton of fun. Yeah. Definitely want to do more of these giveaways. And I think that doing a deal, you know, as I said in the past, I've always had fun watching Gumbo's Deal or No Deals, and I had a ton of fun running that one. So, Budzilla, in order to get your 10 silver, what I'm going to have to ask you to do is send my character, Griffith, right here, Griffith, send my character a junk item, COD for 10 silver, and I will send it back. Let me know. Hold on, let me see if I can do this here. I'm going to send you a chat here. Which are disabled in the pop-out. Boy, oh boy. Twitch is just really annoying. Let's see here. Can I send a message here? Can I do this? Nope. I am going to have to come over here. Pause that. There we go. Here we go. So send me a junk item to my character, Griffith, through the mail, and I will send it back to you. And congratulations. I'm very expressive. Well, I'm trying to be. I might not be the best at it. You know, I think if Brian ran this, he has a flair for that sort of thing. I'm less of the what's the word? Actor? Oh yeah, so you saw the original. I think you can go to YouTube and see us play Deal or No Deal with Gumbo. Yeah, that was way long ago though. Yeah. So Budzilla, let me know what character that it's coming from. I sent you a message in Twitch, I think. Because I have a feeling I'm going to get a whole bunch of junk items in my mail for 10 silver from a whole bunch of different people. So let me know which character that's coming from so that I know that I'm sending it to the right person. Okay, Budzilla, okay, that makes it easy. That makes it easy. Well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed. I had a lot of fun doing that. And we're going to just continue the stream. We're going to keep going. We're going to have a lot of, like, you know, more factional fight. And let's see. Let's move this off the page because we're done with this now. There we go. And I'm going to just sit by my my fountain here so I can keep refilling my water. And I'm going to, hey, Du Jensen, thanks for that sub. Thank you so much. 5 months in a row. Yes, another month. Wow. 5 months. That's crazy. You know, I think that might have been our first month, like way back when we first made affiliate was 5 months ago. So, wow, you've been consistent. That's awesome. Thank you very much. All right, so back to what we were doing before, and you know, it seems like I timed out my sleep bonus. Yeah, I know a lot of you hardcore Wurmians are probably cringing at that. But you wouldn't believe the number of times that I've let my sleep bonus go idle. And you know, before that feature that came in where it turns off your sleep bonus automatically after 10 minutes, before that was in, I wasted so much sleep bonus. So much. You would just you would cringe at how much sleep bonus I wasted simply by walking away from the computer and leaving my sleep bonus on, coming back like an hour or two later to find I have no sleep bonus left. That happens so often. Yeah, I know. It's so good. That feature is so good. It has saved me so much sleep bonus. I'm not even exaggerating when I say I've lost hours and hours and hours of sleep bonus just simply due to that. And Buddha, I saw you here. Where are you? Buddha. How's it going, Buddha? And welcome to everybody who joined the stream to watch the Deal or No Deal. Really had a lot of fun doing that, for sure. Lots and lots of fun. Okay, on to the next order of business. Let's look to see, because I saw that there was an update. An update just happened. And it seemed like a bunch of bug fixes. So I'm going to pull that up on my thing here so I can just look at what happened there and maybe say a few things regarding these updates. Because, you know, with every update to the game, there's definitely going to be bug fixes and patches and downtime, and we've sort of experienced that over the last little bit. The devs have been great at communicating all this stuff that's been happening. We've been getting loads of extra sleep bonus over the past month because of all the downtime and, you know, what have you. And we've gotten just yesterday another installment of bug fixes, and let's see what we got here. Another big patch. So the first bit, so it starts off by saying, due to server instability, 5-hour sleep bonus has been applied to all accounts. So that definitely appreciated. That mitigates the little bit of sleep bonus that I'm losing here. Hey, and look who it is. It's Kilroth. How's it going, Kilroth? Wearing your troll mask, hanging out. Is that a... Oh, is that Red Drake? It's a set of Red Drake, it looks like. Or is it scale? Is it scale or is it... It looks like a scale. Ah. Okay, I see. It's a white Drake hide that you probably dyed red, if I'm not mistaken, and you got a bunch of scale pieces on there. That's why it looks like that. Interesting. Nice setup. You know what? I haven't played around with dyeing armor yet. I really should, because you know there's a lot of cool combinations you could do. You know, you got your purple axe, and that's awesome. I gotta spend some time with dye. Let's see, what's that red look like? Yeah, that looks good together. I like that. I like it. All right, let's queue up another 6 actions here. And then we go back to looking at that post there. Yeah, go out for pizza and come back to 0 sleep bonus. Yeah. Man, I've been watching you and your brother doing YouTube videos since I played Wurm Online. Great to see you on Twitch. Yeah. We did a bunch of Twitch stuff a long time ago. You know, we started off just recording the videos on our own because you know what it was that we were very nervous. We didn't want to do it live because we were very nervous. So we would record them off air. Hey, Final Wolf Black, thanks for the follow. So yeah, we would record them just like on our own. Nobody would get to see the recording, and then we would post it to YouTube. And we did that for a couple seasons. I think it was season 3 we started streaming, doing the Twitch thing. And you know, at some point or another, we moved back to doing pre-recorded videos just because of our schedule. Our schedule was pretty limited, and so we did a whole season of pre-recorded videos before coming back to Twitch. And it wasn't until this last round that we came back to Twitch that Twitch made a big improvement, like change. There was a big change in the system. And then also Streamlabs came out and it made it so much easier to stream stuff. You know, like it's so easy these days. It's so super easy these days that I can stream on my own without Brian, because Brian was always the technical wizard. He was able to set stuff up and get it working, and I had no clue how to do any of it. And so these days, it's just, they made it so streamlined. If you get Streamlabs OBS and just watch like a quick YouTube video that shows you how to set it up and what to do, it's so super easy now. You know, there's a lot of like things that you can add to your stream, a lot of things like this chat box here where you can see the chat and everything like that. But if you just want like the straight, here's my game and here's my video of myself, or you don't even have to have a video of yourself. You can just have, here's my game and here's my voice. And it's super easy to set up these days. Yeah, you know, how many times have I screwed it up? I've screwed it up so many times it's not even funny. But once you get the hang of it, then you don't screw it up anymore, and you know. All right, Garganim, thanks for joining. Yep, see you next time. You finally found a way to see how long you've been following us. You've been following us since March 30th, 2015. Wow. 2015, that's yeah, you're right, 4 years ago. That's crazy. Yeah, Streamlabs OBS, totally. Like, from what I understand, it's like an open source software. Somebody just took the OBS and just put a whole bit to it to make it just user friendly and easy to work with. You know, the old OBS, I kind of got to the point where I could finally just record to my computer video. I figured that out. But it was like pulling teeth. Some of the things you wanted to try, like it was just like you're fighting with it, and there was lots of bugs. But they did update it a bunch, you know, like they were updating it very consistently. All right, what was I doing? I was looking at the patch notes. So it seems like there's a bunch of changes to the spells. Mostly damaging spells. It looks like they were just tweaked. Most of them look like they were reduced in damage. So that sort of tells me that these spells are quite overpowered. You know, there was a PvP ban that put PvP on hold for a little bit, and I think that was due to a bug. I hope that bug got addressed in this update. But I don't know exactly what the bug was. And now here's a bug fix that I don't quite understand. So maybe one of you guys can help me out. Burning items with empty container slots. New behavior as listed below. You can no longer fuel furnaces with empty item slots, as well as not showing the action for initial containers in empty item slots. I am not sure what that means, but there must have been some kind of bug that allowed you to fuel furnaces with empty item slots. That's why you have a larder with no shelves in it. Okay. Okay, so it sounds to me so if you took a larder and put it into a forge, then the empty containers were used up to fuel the forge. Is that how it worked? So there was like a bug. That sounds like a real big bug. Okay, so you're saying Streamlabs has always worked with Twitch. That's how you got your alerts before Streamlabs OBS. Okay. Oh, okay, so Streamlabs was always a thing. I see. I just didn't. I wasn't aware of it beforehand. Okay, so yeah, that seems like a bug. That if you put an item with empty container slots, like for example a larder that has empty shelves, and you put that into a forge, I guess, then the empty container shelves got removed. Yeah. I wonder if they got... do you still have that larder with no shelves in it? Like, is that a thing? Because if so, you should keep that thing. It's going to now be a relic. Something that you can't make anymore. By the way, there's a ton of those types of things in this game. Relics. You know, things that are in the game that you used to be able to do, either due to bugs or just due to the way that the game worked before, and then you can no longer make them anymore. And so they become sort of like collector items that you can keep as sort of this item can no longer be made in the game. Fountain pans, yeah, well, yeah, except for fountain pans. Can't have those anymore. They definitely got rid of those. So like a good example of those types of items, like totally worthless, but just interesting, is any unfinished items. So unfinished items were a thing. And I'm not talking like an unfinished large cart, for example, that you haven't completed all the components. I mean, back in the day, whenever you created a new item, so like you put a shaft with a hammer head together, it would come out as an unfinished hammer, like every time. So you'd put them together, you combine it, you were successful, and it comes out as an unfinished hammer. And then in order to finish it, you have to do the improve actions. So, you know, like use an iron lump and then sharpen with a whetstone, and you would do those improve actions, and then randomly, eventually, it would become a finished hammer. That's why way back in the day, people always complained about the fact that in order to finish your hammer, you needed to hammer it with another hammer. So as a new player who started the game with no hammers, you take your first shaft and you take your first hammerhead, you put it together, it becomes an unfinished hammer, and then it would say you need a hammer in order to hammer out the dents in order to finish your hammer. But you're like sitting there going, well, I don't have a hammer, that's why I'm trying to make this hammer. So they got rid of that whole system because that was an impedance to the new player experience, I guess. And it totally was an impedance. Like it was ridiculous when it happened to you. You're like thinking like, I'm making this hammer so that I would have a hammer in order to improve items, but like you would throw up your hands like, what do you want from me? What more do you want from me? Like you would make another hammer and you would still have to go through that whole thing again, and you would still need another hammer. Like you'd have to be lucky enough that you would combine it and that it wouldn't call for a hammer before it finished. Like that would be the only way. And then even then, it would eventually hit the hammer and you'd be like, okay, I gotta make another freaking hammer in order to finish this hammer. Like it was just ridiculous. So they got rid of that whole system, but you could still, way back then, you would, a bunch of people kept all these unfinished items. So when they got rid of them all, these, they became collector's items. So let's see here. What do you guys have to say with it? Yeah, so found it. We don't need to go. Yeah, I used to have saddle with saddle sack that was inside a saddle with a saddle sack. Wow, that's awesome. And that's recent too. That's, saddle sacks just came, what, a year ago? Maybe 2 years ago? Something like that. I wonder how that happened. Huh. Oh, Kilroth, you're imping with me. You're imping books with me. Makes me feel like I'm, I have company. Somebody to share my pain of improving books. How's my skill doing? Ooh, 29. That's actually not so bad. Got 7 points so far. And I've not been on it. Like, I haven't been totally focused on it. Oh, and you're not sure what happened to it. Oh. That's too bad. It would have been nice to have a saddle sack with another saddle and another saddle sack in it. That's just funny. The empty slots things was this. Okay, so let's take a look. Huh. That's interesting. I wonder if I can show you guys this. No, that didn't work. Where is it? Let's see. No, that's not okay. I know what I could try. Just gonna get rid of this. Or not. Boy, oh boy. See, I can't say what it is, but for some reason, technology and me just doesn't seem to jive sometimes. Just sometimes I just don't know what I'm doing wrong. You know, maybe it's that I was born in that, you know, I'm in that weird generation. A very strange generation where I grew up with technology. You know, I was born in 1979. So I'm in that period of time where when I was really young, there was like no technology. But then when I got to about like 8 or 9 years old, like we started getting computers and I got a Nintendo and those sorts of things. So I kind of like had to learn that stuff at 8 or 9, but most people who were born after me, like if you were maybe 4 years younger than me even, you would have been born with all this technology already. So even my brother, Brian, who is like 4 years younger than me, he tends to have more of a knack for technology. And I notice most people who are either Brian's age or younger are way better than me at technology. Like, don't get me wrong, I can do stuff, but you know, when it comes to how do I get this web thing on, which just doesn't seem to be working, I don't know. So anyway, it seems like your inventory has empty slots in it. That's weird. That's weird. Very, very strange. Okay, I'm not giving up on you, web. Let's. Oh, is that? What just happened? My goodness. This is just like weird. Here we go. Oh, did I do something? Did I do something? I did something. There we go. So that's what it looks like. This is the empty slot problem. That's weird. I can see that being a problem. Definitely. So if I look close, there's one other strange thing. Oh, of course. When I switch that, it goes to the other thing. Okay, so that's weird. I know. If I pull this out, okay, that's... Oh my goodness. Maybe if I pull this one out. There we go. Okay, there we go. I did something again. Sometimes it's like just trial and error, I guess. If you look closely, there's one other strange thing. Oh boy. What is the one other strange thing? Is it the rare longbow? You got a rare longbow there. Empty float slot, empty piece of something, empty dough ball slot. Huh. Right. Inventory is damaged. I know, Control Plus. Okay, so I can zoom, but what's weird is that if I continue zooming in, you see how it's like at 200%? Now it's at 250, but it's getting smaller. Like, Don't ask me why it's doing that. But if I continue to zoom, it gets bigger and bigger until a certain point where it gets smaller and smaller again. Yeah. But yeah, the inventory is damaged. That's weird. Can you repair it? That's weird. So you had a Commodore, what is that? A Commodore VIC-20? That's your first PC, and then a 64. See, my first was an Apple II clone. It was around the same era as a Commodore 64, I think. It took the 5.5 floppies and yeah, it was. That was my first, and that must have been maybe in 1980. I want to say 1986 or something like that, somewhere in that range, maybe 87. And it was a hand-me-down, so it wasn't a brand new one. We didn't have the money to get a brand new, so it wasn't a brand new one. So maybe in 1987 we got a computer that was probably a few years old, if something like that. It was one of those ones where like each one of those 5.5 floppies would have like a game on it or a program on it or something like that, and you'd have to like pop it into the drive. That wasn't a part of the computer, like it was a separate, the drive was connected to it by a wire, and then you would get this command screen, like basically, it's kind of similar to like a DOS prompt, and you'd have to type in like asterisk dot asterisk and this code to like run the program. Yeah. Oh, and I gotta get rid of this. It's blocking my, oh, of course. Of course. That's going to happen again. Okay, there we go. You know what I got to make sure of is that I don't run out of water and I don't run out of my string. Buttzilla, you feel super young. Yeah, I know. I mean, I feel super old. It's better to feel young than old. That's for sure. Hey, Kilroth, you were also born in 1979. We're the same age. Wow. That's kind of cool. You know, I was told once that and you and I, Kilroth, we fall into like a really strange generation where they gave us like our own generation. I can't remember what it's called. It's like we're born just after people who sort of had no technology in their childhood, and we were of a generation where we didn't have technology in our early childhood, but the technology started coming out in our late childhood, like around, you know, we're talking like having Walkmans and, you know, computers and like consoles, Nintendos, and those sorts of things. Started coming out in our late childhood. I think, when did Nintendo come out? 1985? Or something like that. 1985 it came to America. And so we were already 6 or something like that. But of course my brother, who was 4 years younger than me, he was 2. So, you know, he would have grown up knowing nothing else but Nintendo being there. And so because of that, they gave, like, I think there's like a 4-year gap, like 1978 to 1982 or something like that. If you're born in that range, then you are of this other generation that's different than, I don't even know. Death, when you've always felt comfortable with technology? Yeah. Dude, Jensen started high school in 78. Wow. So now I feel young. Yeah, 1979. You know, I feel comfortable with technology for the most part. You know, when it comes to regular things, I feel very comfortable with technology, with my phone, with, I talk to some people at my work who are like suspicious of cloud computing and, anything technology they're kind of resistant to. But believe it or not, I'm like the technology guru according to most people there. And I keep thinking to myself, like, man, if I am the guru, there are people out there who are way more tech savvy than me. That's for sure. And know way more about. There's also exceptions. Like, I have a friend who is older than me who is way more versatile, way better at technology than I am. So, it really depends on what passions you have and how much time and effort you put into learning new things. And then there's also younger people who have no idea how to use computers properly. So, yeah, there's a wide range of people out there, that's for sure. Well, we hit 30 papyrus making. That's good. I wonder what kind of skill is needed in order to... What I'm kind of really looking for is like 90 quality paper. Consistent 90 quality paper. Or at least like 80 quality, like 80, 90, somewhere up there. Anybody know what kind of skill that I would need for that kind of reliable paper making? Generation X, Final Wolf Black says. Is that what it is? I'm kind of curious now. I'm going to look it up. Right. So the name of the generation is Zennials. So it's the generation right between the Generation X, which is also known as the baby bust. So Generation X is if you're born anywhere from 1965, and it says 1979, but then Zennials are from 1975 to 1985. Let's look up Zennials. Zennial generation. Zennials are a crossover generation. Okay, so that's why. They're a crossover generation between Generation X and Millennials. Sipiku. I think you were born before technology if you remember a time when there was no girls on the internet. Yeah, there's a lot of overlap on generations. Yeah. Let's see. Some people are saying 1977 to 1985. You're a Zennial. It's also known as a microgeneration because it's between two. 11 signs that you are a Zennial. Let's hear. You didn't get your first mobile phone until your late teens or 20s. It was 20s for me. And it was a brick. Yep. You used dial-up modem for school or university work. Definitely yes. I used a dial-up modem. You watched Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, My So-Called Life, and Friends. Yes, yes, and yes. Yep, that's me. You watch movies... Okay, your seminal movies were Heathers. I don't recall that movie. The Goonies, absolutely. Goonies was a big one for me. Jurassic Park, for sure. Also read the book. The book, by the way, is way better than the movie. Clueless, I remember Clueless. That one had an Aerosmith soundtrack. Empire Records and Dazed and Confused, both amazing movies. You love Nirvana, of course. Of course, love Nirvana. But you were too young to ever see them live. That's actually true. Yeah. In 1994, when Kurt Cobain committed suicide, I was in grade 10, maybe 10. So I might have been just old enough to see them live if I was, if I busted it in grade 10. That was probably around when I started going to concerts, but yeah. Or to really get what they were saying. Oh, that's a little rude. You had a strong allegiance to either Oasis or Blur in the Britpop era. I didn't have a strong allegiance, I don't think. You downloaded music on Napster. Yes. Who remembers Napster? Who remembers Napster? Yeah, I definitely did a lot of that. You had a MySpace, ICQ, or MSN. Yeah, I had an ICQ and MSN. You made mixtapes on cassettes. That was like my life, making mixtapes on cassettes. And I would make mixtapes on cassettes by recording these songs off of the radio. I would sit there by the radio and I would have my mixtape ready and I'd have my finger on the record button just in case a song that I wanted on the mixtape came on the radio. And that's how I'd make all my mixtapes. Anybody else do that back in the day? 15 minutes to download one song. I kind of remember it being longer than that. But yeah, long. You had a mixtape in your alarm clock? Yeah. You had or still have a Hotmail account? Yes. You can remember when you first heard about Google and Facebook. Yeah, of course. Facebook, I first heard about Facebook when I was in university. I was already in my 20s. But there was always internet, even if it just contained an encyclopedia. You listened to Blink-182, Incubus, The Offspring, and Spice Girls. Well, Offspring for sure. Incubus a little bit. Blink-182 was around, but I wasn't a big fan. But yeah, that sounds like me. Zennials. Yeah, Metallica took down Napster. That was a big thing. That was a big thing back then. I was a big fan of Metallica. Big fan. I became a big fan of them right after the Black Album. And I spent the next few years just researching them and listening to their music just over and over. I memorized everything. I learned how to play a lot of their songs on guitar. I even performed a lot of the songs as part of a band. Played a lot of their songs. And then their next album came out, so hyped. New Metallica album, 1994, I think it was, or maybe 95. And it was garbage. Just pure garbage. Can I play the solo from one? A little bit of it. Used to, anyway. I used to be able to play it a long time ago. Remember when you had to wait days just to download a game on PC? Back then, playing on resolutions smaller than 720p? Yeah, downloading games was not even a thing for the longest time. I remember when games came on 3.5-inch floppy disks, not floppy disks, but hard disks, the little hard 3.5-inch disks. And then it got to the point where games were getting big, so you would need 10 or 12 of those disks. And then finally CDs came out and you could have a game on a CD. It needed 10 discs, but you could have it on one CD. And then it just got out of control after that. It was just, by the time I got into high school, memory was just getting out of control. I remember buying a new computer and it had a hard drive that had 320 megabytes on it. And I remember, who was it? It was an adult in my life. I can't remember who it was. Maybe an uncle or something like that was telling me, you would never ever need 320 megabytes on That's like ridiculous to buy 320 megabyte hard drive. Like there's no reason why you're ever gonna you're never ever gonna fill up 320 megabytes. And I'm thinking like, okay, it was pretty big at the time, like, you know, but I figured I'd have more rather than less. And it wasn't even like a year before individual programs were 300 megabytes or whatever, and it was just didn't take long. It just exploded. Windows 3.1, yep. 15 disks. But Zilla, you don't recall using Napster, but you remember getting many viruses trying to download music on LimeWire. Yeah. I'm just going to take these out because, you know what, I really don't need them. I was listening to in-game sounds, but it's not like I'm chatting with somebody. You stuck to downloading shareware games? Yeah. That's noble of you. Here comes the real question. How long did you have to wait to have a naked girl picture load? Man. It was like one of those things where it's like, oh, it's almost there. It's almost there. Yeah. I remember the PC sales guys telling my parents you'll never need a hard drive bigger than 2 gigabytes. Yeah, well, yeah. Never. Yeah, never say never. I mean, it sort of slowed down though recently, eh? Like, maybe it's just perspective, but I almost feel like you will never need a hard drive bigger than, I don't know, 100 terabytes, let's say. If somebody came and tried to sell me a 100 terabyte hard drive, I would say to them, there's no reason why you would ever need a 100 terabyte hard drive. But maybe one day we will. I don't know. Maybe we will. Was there anything else in this update? Like I know that there's a lot of bug fixes, but I'm not sure. So there was one. Oh yeah, the planting of the fish keep nets. I'm curious to know how that's working now. Right, hard drive speeds on that drive that big was slow. Yeah, I can see that. If they were fast, I totally just store everything on a huge hard drive. You know, I feel like big hard drives nowadays are just like lots of small hard drives put together into one drive. I feel like that's the way to go. But are the fish keep nets now working good? I mean, it just says fixed a few issues with planting the fish keep nets. Like, can we now just plant them in water anywhere? Or what's the requirements or the restrictions on them? Sacrifice a champion creature should now trigger correctly in the journal. Okay. Spend 1K. Yeah. Okay. So it's like journal triggers are fixed. Fixed an issue with lamps and Hoda statues becoming solid colors instead of just the glow being tinted. Boy lamp should be the only lamp retaining the color of the dye. Okay. Reach meditation path. Whoops. Level 9 wording in the jewel. Okay. So the journal wording again. Proper title will now be awarded for Winding Road journal tier. And chopped and ground food items should retain their proper state in a crate. Interesting. I kind of remember there was a bug a while ago. I was on Wurm Unlimited server for a little bit, and it was like I would chop a veggie and I'd put it in a bulk storage bin and it would turn back to its original state. So I could chop a whole bunch of veggies, put them back in and bring them out and have to chop them again. Which is kind of annoying. But I think that bug was due to a conflict of a mod that the server was running. Yeah, wait for 24K Super Omega HD movies and Terror will feel like nothing. Yeah. 24K though. You know, I just bought myself a new 4K TV for the basement that we just finished. And I must say, I don't think I could tell the difference between 4K and 1080p on that thing. I really can't. Like Netflix, the first thing Netflix did was it asked me, would you like to upgrade so that you now stream in Ultra HD, which is, I guess, 4K. And it was going to cost me an extra, whatever, how much money a month. So I said, you know, let's just see what it looks like without it. And man, it looks great. Like, I don't see why I would want it to look any better than what it looks like. But that's just me, maybe, you know. Some people notice those differences. Games are reaching 100 gigabytes nowadays. Yeah, that's true. There are games that are over 100 gigabytes. So another section on this patch was that there's a whole bunch of new art changes, which is like, it's exciting that there are art changes in that. This tells me that this stuff is getting worked on, and it makes me wonder what else is getting worked on. It makes me wonder, like, and I'm excited to see. You know, like, there's more specular maps being added, the normal maps, to make, you know, everything look bumpy. So there's also something showing all the metal types needed to be fixed, and all the wood types on the huge bell, and bell resonators, and bell towers. Stonehouse Orioles will display ivy again. I didn't notice that they did stop displaying ivy. That might have been a bug. Fixed glimmer steel and adamantine plate upper arm textures. Okay. And updated Wurm University PMK textures. You know what? I saw somebody complaining about that, eh? I bought a wagon and now the textures changed and I didn't pay for this crap. That's a ridiculous argument. My goodness. What I'm guessing is that the Wurm University Kingdom, they probably just said we would like our texture to look like this and submitted a new texture. Let me see what the picture looks like now. Let me see here. Yeah, it looks, actually, I like it. It has like a shield. What do you call it? What do you call those things? Like the shields that have like the 4 quarters. Yeah, and like it looks purple. I don't know what it looked like before. But it looks good now, I think. A coat of arms, that's what it's called. Thanks, Nozumi. Yeah, I like the texture. It looks good. I mean, I guess it depends on, like, this person, I guess, bought it for a particular look, whatever it looked like before. But what brought on that change? Was it that the Wurm University Kingdom decided they want, you know, their wagon to have a particular... Because the way that I feel like it works is that a kingdom in Chaos creates all the artwork for their kingdom and submits it, and then Saruman puts it into the game for them. So I'm wondering what brought on this change? Was it that they decided that they didn't like what it looked like before and they wanted to change it? Or, yeah, I don't know. Now, I saw a post, a suggestion in the forums. Actually, I think it was Kilroth. Kilroth, you put the suggestion there. To have it so that in Freedom, we could, you know, alliances could pitch together some money and put it into the game and get our alliance banners and alliance wagons, like custom alliance artwork. And I think this is a great idea. It would be great for the game because there's so many big alliances out there who would be willing to put in money to get these custom items. Yeah, and I know for a fact that it's really a lot of work to get this stuff done, because I know the way that it works is that the players themselves custom make the art. You get the template for the model. What the artwork needs to sort of like, I guess the dimensions and everything like that. There's like a package that the Wurm team puts together, and then somebody in the alliance spends all their time doing all the artwork and creating the art for the flags and for the banners and for the wagon. And I guess what else is there? There's the tabard, and does the tents also? There's like a ton of stuff, and you'd create your logo and create your artwork and the colors and everything like that, and then you'd submit it back in, and Saruman would have to spend his time making all these new textures on the models. Now that works well for the kingdoms because there's not really that many kingdoms being created. Here and there an extra kingdom gets created, but it's like few and far between. But if it was opened up to alliances, I can imagine like tons of alliances coming in and submitting all their work, and then Saruman will get buried in a ton of work adding all this artwork at the expense of adding more development to the game. So it was also suggested that maybe a new system could be put in place where there's lots of different options, but it's like templates. So you basically in the game would select an icon, and you would select a color, and you would select different variations on some kind of template system, similar to how shop signs work. Like you put a shop sign down and you right click and you have like a menu system where you can pick a bunch of different logos to put on the shop sign. There was a game, I think it was Guild Wars 1, the original one, had a system like that where if your guild paid a certain amount of money, you can spend some time in their custom, there's like a little window that you can like choose the icon and choose the color and combinations of stuff, and you can make it all unique and stuff. But again, I really feel like that would cause a lot of development downtime. Like the development team would have to focus on that as sort of a project, and it would be at the expense of other projects. So there's sort of a balance to be struck there. Okay, Life is Feudal did that well, but the game is trash. Well, I never tried Life is Feudal, so I don't know. But from what I understand, it's sort of like very similar to Wurm. Yeah. It's, Alliance artwork would be great. Totally would be great. But I can see the devs thinking about the amount of work that it would take to put something good in place. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, so Kilross is suggesting just make it so that you have to meet some kind of requirements. Like it has to be a big enough alliance, and then make a big cost or something like that. And that would limit the number of alliances that would be requesting this sort of stuff. And that makes sense. It makes sense. It's sort of... The thing is though, that you got to think about how this would scale up. So like that might work for the population of Wurm now and the way that it is now, and maybe that's enough. Maybe that's enough. But you don't want to get to the point where you're committing to a system that may bog down your development later down the line. If you make this promise, like, okay, we'll do this now, and then a year from now, the game somehow takes off, let's just say, for example, which is the goal, right? Like, the devs want the idea that this game, like, they're going to hold on to that because that's the goal. And you can't waver from that goal. That the game is going to grow. And that if you're going to be developing this game, you need to be developing it with that idea in mind that we're going to think forward and make sure that the game will work even if we get an influx of players. And if you add a system where, you know, sure, if only 2 alliances right now are in a position to add custom artwork, yeah, okay, that's not a big deal. But what happens when 10 alliances are now in the position? And now Saruman has to spend the time to implement 10 custom PMK artwork packages. And what if that number keeps going up? I don't know. It would be nice if they had a system in place that made it more automated. But then, of course, putting a system like that in place would take development time. And it's hard to say how much time that would take. I'm not a developer, so I have no idea. Was Life is Feudal abandoned? Is it done? I mean, it just came out. Like, not even... I think the MMO version just came out like not even a year ago. Did they already abandon it? Man, I was even thinking about trying it. I decided not to, but I was thinking about it. That kind of sucks. So you think Alliance stuff should stay on the server it was made, sort of like the Tabard, where it changes its look based on your kingdom. This would prevent the obvious abuse people would do with it to make money. That's a hard one. I mean, is it abuse that kingdoms use it to make money? I mean, I feel like that's an intended feature. I don't think the devs look at that as abusing a system. That it's intended that kingdoms, you know, they put in the effort, they put in the money into the game. You know, it's not cheap to make a kingdom. And then you have to create your own artwork, so you have to put in time and effort to do that. And I know some kingdoms even pay money to get their logos created by people who can do that sort of stuff. And then they can make a little bit of silver. It's not an amazing amount of silver that they can make off this stuff. And it's still a lot of work because you gotta, you know, especially with wagons, you gotta somehow deliver those wagons. It's not like you can bring over 20 wagons when only one fits into a boat. And then tabards, yeah, tabards don't change. Tabards will change back to the freedom colors when you come back over. So it's only the flags and the tents and the wagon. Yeah, I don't know. Part of the charm of this game is that you can make money. I think, for a lot of people anyway. Yeah, Casper could help with the kingdom artwork. Yeah, totally. So Haven and Hearth reset their world today. There was a point where I was curious about that game. Although a lot of people complained about it. So I decided never to try it. I mean, it's one of these games with permadeath. If alliances could make custom flags, wagons, it would just result in all wagons and flags being worth not much. Yeah, maybe. But the thing is that what if your flag or tabard or whatever it is unique and awesome looking and, you know, compared to other people's? Because it's custom made, right? Like somebody would custom make that artwork and they could make it look however they like. It could look really cool or it could look, you know, not so good. And I think that it would add uniqueness. You know, there are some unique Chaos Kingdom artwork out there already, as it is. You know, and everybody has their opinion about which one's the best and that sort of thing. So adding more of that, I don't know if that's a bad thing. I really don't know. And for the individual alliance members, I think it's a good thing because, you know, like if our alliance, for example, you know, Kilroth here is advocating for this for our alliance, which is a pretty big alliance. If our alliance got this, we would be very proud to display our banners and flags all over our deeds. And so, you know, you come into one of our deeds and you'd know it's like, this is a group of people who are passionate about the game and who have, you taken pride in the fact that we're part of this alliance. It's extremely hard to die now in Heaven and Hearth. Yeah. Yeah, Life is Feudal had their MMO come out a while ago. I saw it come out and I was just, I don't know if I want to start another hardcore grindy game. Does Life is Feudal have a PvE server? I don't think so. Yeah, I think Life is Feudal is like all PvP. Yeah, and that's also what I've heard, Budzilla. You need like a group. You can't just jump into the game on your own. Yeah, Haven, I have heard that you could go solo in Haven and Hearth. The thing about Haven and Hearth that turned me off was that it was a top-down view. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna stick with Wurm Online. Wurm is like the only game that I have sort of like stuck with. You know, the only MMO that I've really stuck with. I have been playing Overwatch for quite a while too, but that I would say is like a completely different genre of game. I've said it before, you know, like I love this sandbox MMO style game. Like I could play this game. This is like the type of game that I could play for the rest of my life and be happy. Except for I do have a PvP itch that needs to be scratched every so often. And Wurm PvP just doesn't hit that nerve. So I found Overwatch to be extremely enjoyable, and I used that to sort of get that fix. But in terms of RPGs or MMOs, yeah, Wurm definitely hits the spot. Oh, Du Jensen, you started in Life is Feudal. Interesting. And then you found Wurm. You know, from what I understand, the developers of Life is Feudal were originally Wurm players who decided they want to go off and make their own game. And they basically modeled it right after Wurm. I'd be curious to know what the population is over there. Huh. Kilroth. Yeah, I don't have any chairs. You're right. I do not have any chairs. We are very poor decorators and poor furnishers of this place. Everything's very functional. I also like mobile games, you know, like games where I can just sit down for a couple minutes and play them. You know, Wurm is the type of game where if you have 10 minutes, it's not even worth it to jump in. If all you have is 10 minutes to play. But if you have 10 minutes, it's, you know, if you have a good mobile game that is a quick fix type game. So the one that I use is Clash Royale. Clash Royale is like I've streamed it a couple times, you might have seen. Or you might have played it yourself. It's free to play. It's a lot of fun. Tons of fun. It's a little PvP game that lasts 3 minutes, potentially more, potentially less, but somewhere in around 3 minutes per game. So, you know, if you're sitting waiting for a bus, or, you know, you just got a bunch of, you know, minutes to spare. I have you know, it's definitely one of those games that has a place in my heart too, Clash Royale. I started my own clan there, and, you know, working together with the clanmates to achieve certain goals, like they added this clan wars. So you work together to beat these other teams in the clan war. It's a lot of fun, just a lot of fun. Clicker Heroes, man, I am a glutton for those clicker idle games. My goodness, it's like a weakness of mine or something. Yeah, I know, it wasn't a bear actually, it was Kilroth. He had drank a yellow potion and turned into a bear. But yeah, Clicker Heroes, man, like, those games just, I don't know what it is. I must have that particular personality, I guess, where I don't know. I get so addicted to those types of games. I would go on I think with Clicker Heroes specifically, I went on a binge. It might have been 3 days or something like that, where I just couldn't put the game down for a second. And then after that 3 days was up, I couldn't play the game for one more minute. I was just done with it. But yeah. Farm Together now. Okay. That's Farm Together. Might have to look at that game. There's another game that I play here and there. Shop Heroes. Shop Heroes. It's kind of a mix between an idle game and a crafting game. It's not a clicker game, but it's just you know, your shop gets all these resources that comes in steadily, and you make items with them and you sell them to customers. But there's a bunch of different elements to it, and you join a city and you work together with your city mates to do all sorts of stuff. I like that element where you group up with people and you work towards goals. But again, it's one of those, it's not a game where I can sit down and play for a long time. It's like occupies your time for like 5-10 minutes and then you put it away. In fact, you almost can't do anything more than, you have to like, you have 5-10 minutes and you gotta wait. You gotta wait till everything gets finished. So you gotta come back to it later type game. But, you know, I'm not sure how long those types of games can last for me. We'll see. We'll see. I've been playing Clicker Shop Heroes for maybe a couple weeks now, maybe 3 weeks. And, you know, it has some elements that are fun. It's not nearly the same as Wurm, though. It's not even close. Something about Wurm. Let's see. We hit the 3-hour mark. I want to do one more thing. For those of you who stuck around to the end, I'm going to do one more giveaway. And it is a giveaway that is brought to you by the Wurm team. Now, it's, I guess, sponsored by the Wurm team, I guess. Being a part of the Valray Entertainment Network has some perks, and one of those perks is that we get giveaways. And this week, I'm going to be giving away a bunch of sleep powders. Deal or no deal again. I know, I kind of want to do more deal or no deal, just maybe not today. We'll do it another time. I'll have to work out the kinks. I'm going to get it working a little bit better, maybe a little bit smoother, maybe looking a bit better. I'll have to spend some time on that. But this one's just going to be a straight up giveaway. It's going to be 5 sleep powders. And what's nice about the way that I'm getting them is it's through redeem keys. So that way I don't have to deliver them or anything. I can just tell you the key and you can type them into here. So let's see. I gotta go get them though. I'm gonna go pick them up. You know what? Let's just give them away first, and then I'll have to figure out how to pick them up. I'm pretty certain I can do it. Let's try this. Okay. So let's start again. What am I doing here? Let's cancel this. Let's start a new keyword. How do I reset this? There must be a way to reset this. Reset. That's weird. That is weird. Okay. We'll try it and we'll see how it goes. Let's make the keyword powder. Let's make the keyword powder. Okay, that looks better. Okay. So, if you would like to win 5 free sleep powders, type in the keyword powder into the chat right now. Powder. And I'll give you a couple minutes to do that. And I'm going to queue up a few more actions here. Let's see here. Powder, yes. And these are brought to you by the Wurm team. So you can thank them for the sleep powder. Hey, J Popper. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. You're coming in right at the end, just in time for the free sleep powder. You get free five sleep powders. Of course you can thank them. I thank them all the time. I thank them all the time for the hard work they put into this game and the hard work they put into try to spread the word, because, you know, that's what these are. The whole Valray Entertainment Network is, it's made up of a whole bunch of streamers who have put in the effort and time to, you know, become a part of this thing. and it's sort of like it's the whole reason why you can turn on Twitch and see people streaming Wurm on a semi-regular basis now, and that is all put together by Retrograde and Joel and others who are vying for or working towards making Wurm sort of like in the spotlight. And it's hard, right? It's hard to get new players, but I see it happen all the time. Because there's streams of Wurm, there are new players coming into the game because of it. Now, one thing some streamers are doing that's really effective is they're playing other games and streaming other games and getting people excited about their streams, and then they'll come back to Wurm, and that brings a whole new set of players over to this game that never heard of Wurm before. And I've seen that happening too, and really like the Wurm team, Retrograde and Joel, they're working to try to increase exposure to this game in this fashion, and I think it's working. All right, so I think that's enough time. You got a last minute to type in the keyword powder to be eligible to win 5 free sleep powders. Okay, last chance here. I'll give you 10 more seconds. In those 10 seconds, I'm going to queue up another 6 actions here. Oh, and of course I messed that up. That's okay. We got a last minute powder there. All right, here we go. All right, 4 or 5 free sleep powders. Here we go. I'm going to roll it. And Nightbot is going to tell us, hey, J. Popper Wurm, you came in just at the right time to win yourself 5 free sleep powders. Congratulations. Good job. Okay, so I'm going to have to come over here. There we go. All right, so let's see how this works. Now, because I didn't go and find it, I have to go find it now. Here we go. So I'm going to try this. In your Twitch, in Twitch, I'm going to send you a message, and we'll see what it looks like. Blah. That didn't work quite exactly how I expected. Okay, I'm going to try that one more time, okay? I'm going to do it one line at a time. Maybe it's just because it's not big enough. It got copied in there correctly, it's just the formatting is all messed up, so let's try one more time. Okay, there we go. We'll do one at a line each. Each one of these is a sleep powder, and you're going to have to type into the Wurm chat redeem key or /redeem key. I'll show you on the stream so that's clear exactly what you have to do. But I'm going to copy these for you first. Are you getting these, G Popper? You getting these messages? You're going to have to copy these down. So copy and paste them somewhere. There we go. And then it's just how you would redeem. I guess sometimes the Wurm team sends out things this way. So you would type this into just the chat in the game. So here I'll show you. Right here, in here you would type in /redeem key space and then those codes that I just sent you, one at a time, and each one will give you a sleep powder. And there you have it. 5 free sleep powders. Good job and congratulations. If you have any questions about it, if it's not working, let me know and I'll fix it up for you. And the hope is that over the next bunch of weeks, we're going to have more stuff to give away. I've been setting up a whole bunch of things. And I got to put some work into it. I have some casting to do and some imping to do. But maybe on the next round, we'll see some new items in the Deal or No Deal sort of setup. So maybe in one of the boxes, instead of having a 5 silver option, there will be a nicely enchanted rare pickaxe, for example, or something like this. So we'll see how that goes. But I definitely really enjoyed the Deal or No Deal. I always enjoyed watching it before, and I really enjoyed hosting it. And the suspense is real. It's like a lot of fun. Okay, so you're neighbors with Draka. So for the next Deal or No Deal, as the banker, you need to not know the chest value. Have a friend, your brother help with that part. Yeah, I know. I'm by myself, so it's hard. It's hard to do that. However, as the banker, you know, like on the show, the banker for sure knows the chest value. That's for sure. I was reading up a whole bunch of stuff to try to figure out how to run it. And what I found out is that they don't actually use a set formula for figuring out the offer. So they choose the offer based on many different factors that could arise, and it's all based on viewership. It's like what makes for the most exciting decision. So, you know, there's all the... I even looked up a scientific paper, somebody who tried to scientifically reverse engineer the formula that they use in order to figure out the offer that the banker gives. And it was just an insane statistical model that ultimately concluded that there is no statistical model that they use. They literally, on a whim, will choose a number. And the way I figure it is that they probably have a bunch of different numbers in front of them. They probably know what is the average value of all the remaining boxes and what's the percentage chance that the person is going to win. Like, they probably have all these numbers in front of them to make an informed decision about what should the offer be that the banker's going to give that would make for the best, most exciting decision that the player has. So that's how they do it on the show. And, you know, I know for a fact that on the show they know, the banker knows what's in the box. So I don't know. I don't think it really like took away anything, me knowing what was in the box. It's just that I have to keep my poker face on is really all it is. I think I have a pretty good poker face. Played enough poker in my time. I'm pretty good at it, I think. You would go on math of what's left on the board. Yeah, but I think that's what needs to happen, though, right? Like the banker's offer needs to sort of reflect the fact that they know what's in the box, plus they know what's left on the board, and then they would have to do some math. It was slightly in my face, and largely your attitude. Yeah, well, maybe. Although if it was on my face that I knew that there was the 40 silver in the box, then how come none of you guys were telling him that there was 40 silver in his box? With certainty. That could have been the beer too, yeah. I know, somebody did. Of course somebody did. Of course somebody's going to say, but the 40 silver's in your box. There's always somebody who says that. Nonetheless, I think it was all for fun and all for games. And I'm wasting my sleep bonus again. Yeah, I'll figure out if Brian comes on the next one. if Brian's here next time, we can maybe discuss a different way. But really, I do. At the very least, in order to make an informed offer, you need to know some numbers, such as what values are left in the boxes and what's the average expected value of the prize and everything like that. But yeah, I'm glad you guys had fun. I'm glad it was suspenseful, and I'm glad it was like, you know, I'm glad it was fun. Yeah. It's so much easier to say, you know, no deal when it's not you up on the, you know, up on the podium playing. When it's you playing, when it's your choice, and, you know, it's a matter of I can get 10 silver right now, or I could potentially lose it all. Or I could potentially get 40 silver. Like, there's all these options, but, you know, I think he took the smart option, which was to not risk it. To not risk it, because, you know, you've seen those games, you've seen those episodes of Deal or No Deal where the person makes one wrong choice and next thing you know they're walking away with $10. Yeah. It's sad when that happens. I'm glad that he walked away with some coin. You know, in order for him to get that 40 silver, you got to remember, he would have had to say no deal the whole way through, right to the end. Which would have probably been easier. No, it wouldn't have been easier. He would have had to say no deal right up into the end. And even on that last one, he would have to guess whether or not the 40 silver is in his or 40 silver is in the other one. Yeah. That could have been disastrous. Validate, you would have been broke if you kept offering the 1 silver per round. Yeah. And it's more fun with the bloopers. Yeah. I could, you know what, I could see it being fun with the bloopers the first time, but if it just happened time and time again, I don't know. I'll try my best to be more, make it a little bit more smooth next time. Now that I've seen how it runs from this end, it'll be easier to make sure there's no bloopers. Right, exactly. See, Valier knows how it works. If it came down to it, it would have come down to like a small amount, like a two copper or 1 iron, as you say, and a 40 silver, and those would have been the two options. And you're right. See, in order for the banker to make a good offer at that point, the banker needs to know whether or not he has the 40 silver. In which case, you're right, an 18 silver offer or whatever silver offer to sort of make them take the offer instead of the 40 silver. But you also have to remember that there's a 50-50 chance that the person, if they said no deal, then they're going to have to make the choice, and there's a 50-50 chance that they stick with theirs or that they take the other one. I know. It's like it's a pure psychological game. When I played it with Gumbo, we ended up taking the deal at some point. It was sometime late in the game. But it was down to, I think we ended up walking away with about 20 silver. Or it might have been just a bit less than 20 silver, something in that range. But I can't remember if we would have won. And you know that playing it out at the end, that's something that I definitely have to do. We play it out to the end. I totally forgot that that's how they do it in the show. Instead of revealing what was in the box. Should have played it out to the end. I'll have to remember to do that next time. All right, well, let's see here. I'm gonna take a peek over to see if Perihelion is still streaming, because at this point I'm feeling like I might call it a night. We had a fun night, and I got 11.39 skill in papyrus making rather. Is it papyrus or papyrus? Like, is it? Can I say it papyrus? Papyrus. I know papyrus sounds much better, but I, for some odd reason, keep saying papyrus. So it looks like Perihelion's still streaming. Oh, also Nasiwa. Nasiwa is another up-and-coming streamer. Nasiwa. I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? Let's see here. I am going to, we're gonna raid Perihelion. But I also want to give a shout out to Nasiwa. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link Nasiwa in the chat. And I'm also going to link Perihelion, so you guys can choose. Nasiwa, he streams a lot. If he keeps it up, he's going to be in the Venn network in no time. He's streaming a lot. But I feel like he needs a bigger audience. He needs people to know that he's streaming, and so go over there and give him a follow, so you know when he's streaming. Because he's all out. He's a Wurmian at heart, and I've watched a bunch of his streams, and he knows what's up with this game, and he puts a lot of effort and time into it, and he streams, and he's I might have mentioned before, I really am drawn to those streams where the person is just chatting and just talking, and there's like a stream of consciousness coming out. And Nasiwa does this very well. So he talks a lot through. Same with Gaffer Boffin. As I said, Gaffer is on Mixer. Of course, there's the big ones, Bloody Drongo every Wednesday is doing his Wurm Wednesday. Although that's like way early in the morning for me. I can barely ever catch his stream. I have to watch it on the VOD afterwards. Cat's Purr, of course. She's still streaming. She's doing a whole revamp of her horse market now. And that's what she's streaming on Wurm. Draka. I keep forgetting Draka. I gotta plug Draka. Draka, she's been streaming as well. She's just brand new member to the Wurm to the Venn network, and she hosts lots of events, and she has a big community around her, and it's like watching that stream. She also chats a lot, so I really enjoy watching Draka. Let me see if I can link Draka's stream. I know you guys probably all know Bloody Drongo's stream and Cat's Purr stream. You can find these streams if you go to the Wurm Discord. If you have Discord, you go to the Wurm official Discord channel. There is a Valray Entertainment Network section. I don't know if you guys know about this, but every time that I start streaming, I post in there that I'm going to start streaming. I also post in the game, where probably most of you see that. But if you can put notifications on that, and every time that anybody from the Valray Entertainment Network starts streaming, they'll post there that they're streaming. Also, you can just scroll up and find all of the channels. Neferent is another member who is starting up. Like, he's another new member to the Valray Entertainment Network. Grumpy Old Gamer is another one I need to plug. There's just like a bunch. So like, there's just people streaming Wurm all the time now. So I'm only able to stream once a week. Friday seems to be the day that works best for me. So I'm just going to keep up with the Friday as much as I can. Catnip. There's so many people I keep forgetting. Catnip, or Catherine. She's been streaming Wurm as well. If you go back to one of her VODs, she convinced her husband, who's never played Wurm before, to try Wurm Online, and he's a gamer, and you get to see his all his reactions to, the new tutorial system, and you see his reactions to just the game in general. And he took it like a sport. He took it like a champ, and that was fun to watch. So yeah, Catnip or Catherine. So yeah, there's Draka's Twitch channel. Thanks, J Popper Worm. But yeah, it's kind of fun to just watch people stream. You know, like I'm always on this end, but lately it's been tons of Wurm content out there, and I'm so happy to see it. We've been saying for so long, you know, we've been trying to encourage people, just turn on the video and see what it's like. And you know, hey Draka, how's it going? Yeah, I'm just in the middle of trying to plug everybody in the Valray Entertainment Network, and your name came up, and J Popper Worm was right on, and he posted your link there. But yeah, hey Bloody Drongo, man, I'm just like, I'm going off, and I'm not even looking at the chat. How's it going? You guys are catching the end. We just had an awesome show. We did a Deal or No Deal where Budzilla walked away with 10 silver. And we did a giveaway for some sleep powders, and I got a whopping. Is my sleep bonus still on? I'm going to turn off my sleep bonus now. Gotta love the new sleep bonus button. Really loving it. I got a whole 11.39 points in Papyrus Making, imping these books, and I was definitely not optimizing anything here. I was like wasting a ton of sleep bonus and getting off track, and yeah. The things that we say on stream, it's just like you can clip that out and probably hold me ransom for it. Yeah, I know. I'm taken too, so you know that's funny that happened. There's last story, and then we're gonna go raid Perry Hellion. But at my work, ever since I started there, this is like a 10-year-old thing, there is a wall on which there are Post-it notes. The whole wall is filled, by the way, of these Post-it notes. When anybody says anything that when taken out of context is sexual or just wrong, it gets written down on a Post-it note, your name gets put on it, and it gets plastered on this wall. The wall is just filled with quotes of what people have said that, when taken out of context, is just raunchy or wrong. It's an hilarious wall. Just so much history on that wall. It's like, they started that wall probably, it was years before I started there, and that was 10 years ago. So this wall is like years of just filled with Post-it notes of, and you know what, all the new people that come in, making it onto the wall is like a rite of passage. It's like everybody is just waiting for that moment that you say that one thing that gets you up on that wall, and it's just yeah. Streamer context, yeah, no doubt that it's happened to all of us. Yeah. All right, so I want to thank you all for coming and joining me on this papyrus making adventure, and I hope you guys had fun. We're going to go head over to raid Perry Hellion. Let me just see. I just want to make sure that I'm doing this right. Every time I do this, I always mess it up. So let me just see. I just want to see if I do this right. There must be an easier way. There must be an easier way. The way I'm doing it currently is I have to go to my Twitch channel and I have to type /raid space and then the channel name. I have to manually type it. There must be a better way to do this. But nonetheless, here we go. We will be back 1 week from today, and we're going to be streaming again. But until then, you guys keep on worming, and I'll see you next time. Here we go. We're going to go over and raid Perry Hellion. Everybody say hi to him. Let's see. All right. You guys have a good night.